Hmm. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Untitled Sports podcast, where by we, I mean myself, Sean, and that is
Marquise sometimes.
Marquise most of the time.
Hmm.
And this is where we talk about basketball, mainly the NBA and mainly the 76ers. Marquise's phone that's my phone going
Yep.
off.
Yo, you try to
Uh,
blame me. It's always me.
no,
Internet
listen,
goes wrong. It's my fault.
this is why I was saying it was you. My phone was already on. It rang, but nothing happened on the screen. So I was just hearing the ring. So I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that's Marquise." But then like on the second ring, my phone was finally like incoming call. So I thought it was you because my phone wasn't actually doing anything.
Thanks
And
for
I heard it louder on the mic than I did in the room because I have headphones on.
thanks for blaming me.
I wasn't gonna blame you. I just thought it was you. Anyway, anyway. Today we will be talking about what do you want to talk about, Marquise?
I want to talk about the dumbass trade that happened between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And where's KD going to go? And the trade that I made for KD and Kyrie to both get traded. You made a trade as well. I didn't look
I
at it
did.
because I wanted to talk about it on stream. Um,
Okay.
I made a trade. I made a big 5-team trade that makes sense for every fucking team.
Okay.
I
Mine
don't
was
know.
only 3 teams.
I have 5-team trade. We're involved because we are reportedly going to be involved if KD gets traded. Not to
Okay.
get KD, but we're trying to get some
Just
pieces.
involved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we want
okay.
some pieces. So
Okay.
we finesse some. See, like we're gonna get to all that. Where do you want to start off first?
Um well, because I feel like the KD talk is going to be the bulk of this. We can start with the Minnesota and Utah trade. Um
I'm gonna pull the trade up so I can have the legit full fuckery that happened.
so let me just start with my assumptions, right? Of like why both teams decided to do this. For the Jazz, I think this is the beginning of a retooling. Maybe not a complete rebuild, but at the very least, they're going to be going in a different direction. Clearly, the duo of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, honestly, kind of similar to not similar as far as game, but a similar situation to Ben and Joel.
Mhm.
They won most of their games together, but they've not been able to get over the hump. And so now it's like you just got to go in a different direction. One of them has to go. Obviously, it's not the same situation. Rudy Gobert in the playoffs has not been as much of a letdown as Ben Simmons in the past, at least the
Yeah,
past playoffs.
but he's very fucking close.
He's very close. He's about as much of an offensive liability. The only difference is he's a center and not a point guard.
All right. Let
Um,
me put this in there. The
Go ahead.
Timberwolves only got Rudy Gobert
Rudy
in this trade.
Gobert. Right. Yes. Yes.
They
Yes.
gave up 4 first-round picks,
Hmm.
5 if we're including the first Kelsler who they picked this year, plus
Hmm.
Beverly. I think it was Vanderbilt. I don't know why it doesn't show all of it, but that is too much for a player who is overpaid, only plays defense,
And Malik Beasley.
and you traded Malik Beasley.
Yep.
And you did sign Kyle Anderson. I
Yeah.
don't know who else they signed because like this trade. Don't get me wrong. This trade makes them better, but it handicaps them at the
Hmm.
same time
You're
because
talking about the Jazz.
no, I'm talking about the Wolves.
That makes the Wolves better.
This trade makes them better, but
Okay.
there's a cap, and there's a
Yeah.
cap on it that it won't allow them to do anything. Like they're gonna be a good regular season team. Like
Yeah.
I have them being
Having
top 5, but
having Rudy Gobert
they're going to be the
almost
Utah Jazz of
it
the league
almost
now.
guarantees you a playoff spot
Mm.
because he is so good defensively and he can impact the game in that way. But he's not a difference maker when it comes to playoff basketball because it's so easy to game plan for him
Yes,
regularly. Like
yes.
and on a team like the Timberwolves, maybe it frees up Cat a little bit more. We spoke about this a little bit at work about how perhaps they're going to try and run a similar system as how Calipari ran Kentucky when Cat was there,
We've seen it
where Cat was
more recently with Cleveland.
right, where Cat played some four and he played next to Willie Cauley-Stein and it worked out for them, but at the same time, that's college. And that was Calipari, who's one of the best college coaches in the nation.
Yes,
We, as
one of
far
the
as I
best
know,
coaches. Period.
right, as far as we know, have the Jazz hired a new head coach yet?
They've no. Yes, they signed Hardy from like the Celtics. I think his name is
Okay,
like Will Hardy.
okay.
I could be
But
wrong. I want to fact check it.
I was gonna say, as far as we know, the Minnesota head coach, he's
Yes,
only been there for like what, a year, right?
Chris Finch.
Or
Yes,
2 years?
yes, a year.
So it's like, is this what he wanted? Like, is this the system that he wants to run? Did he have any input? Because now you're putting him in a pretty tough situation where in the NBA you're trying to play two people who were accustomed before to playing the center position. It's a better situation than what the Sixers were in when we signed Al Horford, because Cat is, I would say, a much better shooter and perimeter player than Al Horford is, and a lot more mobile and can defend the fours probably a little bit better than Al Horford. But it's still two players who were centers.
So you might hear a noise. There was a fucking ad that played while I was reading this article. So
Nope, can't hear it.
I'm saying to the person to people listening, they
No.
might have heard it.
No, they can't hear it.
No, they will be able to hear it because I'm recording. So they would probably hear it.
Oh, right. On your computer audio. Got it.
Also, Will Hardy is 34 years old.
Yeah. Interesting. That's happening a lot more with the younger coaches. Ime Udoka.
You got to think. Also, Danny
Brad
Ainge
Stevens was
back
pretty
there.
young when he. Yeah, that's true.
Danny Ainge hired Will Hardy.
Yeah,
He also hired Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, yeah. Eric Spoelstra was pretty young when he came in.
Eric Spoelstra was with the Heat for like 10 years before he even became an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And literally Miami grown.
What's his name? He's been fired since then, but it was the coach of Atlanta, Lloyd Pierce.
Lloyd Pierce
was pretty young as well.
Mm-hmm. But 34, literally, there's players older than you. Like there's players older than you. Which is ridiculous, but congratulations.
It's like when they had Luke Walton coaching the Lakers.
Yeah,
it's like you're not gonna coach Kobe,
or
like you're not gonna tell Kobe anything.
Or where's his name? But not a coach, but Vince Carter when he was on the Hawks, and he's like 20 years older than Trae Young, and he's a year older than Trae Young's father.
You know what's crazy? That year, we saw Trae Young and Vince, and Dirk and Luka.
Yeah.
In Dallas.
For Dallas,
it was like the same situation.
For Dallas, then we're gonna hop back to the Utah Jazz talk because for Dallas, that's dope to have your franchise player, your best player in the franchise, and then have them play together and them transition to the next guy. That's dope. That is definitely dope. Both European too, so it's kind of fire.
A couple teams have tried that, and like around the same time. Do you remember they did that that photo shoot, like the passing the torch photo shoot that year? I think it was that year, or no, that was a couple years before. That was like 2015.
Was that the one with KG was with Cat?
Yeah, KG and Cat, Kobe and D'Angelo. But what was funny was they did for the Spurs, Tim Duncan and LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge was like 4 years younger than Tim Duncan.
It's
like
dude was
he was like
10th season. Like
he was like 29 when they did that photo shoot. I'm like,
I don't know why they didn't just do it with like somebody like DeJounte Murray. I mean, obviously you didn't know
DeJounte wasn't there yet. DeJounte didn't get drafted until the next year, I think.
He wasn't. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was in the same draft as Ben.
That's wild.
Yeah. But
like,
I thought that was funny.
Let's do this. Let's just
and it was also like they also had I cannot remember his name. Played at Duke. With the Miami, him and D Wade. Justice
Oh,
Winslow.
Justice Winslow. Yes.
Yeah, Justice Winslow and D Wade was a part of that as well. That photo shoot. That didn't go well. Um, didn't go particularly well for any of those guys. Actually, they were all on different teams. Well, except Cat, but still,
Still,
he's had what,
it's
two
soon.
playoffs appearances.
Soon it's going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Cat is gonna. I think Cat's gonna play his career out kind of like a Bradley Beal.
Okay.
I don't think he'll ever leave, but I don't think he'll ever win anything either.
Back to the trade. It makes Utah a great regular season team, but they're going to. I mean, it makes Minnesota a great regular season team, but they're going to get exploited just the same way, unless Anthony Edwards takes a step forward. Because Cat already is what he is. He's talented, but he has flaws. Him at the 4 scares me because we complain about Tobias as Sixers fans. His ass is going to get exploited. Tobias will take this motherfucker off the dribble.
Yeah. Tobias is really like what you want in a 4 in today's NBA.
Yes.
Cat is a 5 who can handle the ball and shoot threes. I wouldn't even say handle the ball. He's a 5 who can shoot threes.
Yes.
Because Joel's probably a better ball handler than Cat is.
Yes.
And he's bigger.
I want people to understand bringing up the ball does not mean you can handle the ball.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
I mean, like, Joel literally has dribble moves where he's like putting it behind his back and doing the fucking fake pass and shit like that.
When Cat does a between the legs crossover into a step back 3, that's when I'll consider him as good of a ball handler as Joel Embiid.
Joel different. He's a different animal.
Yeah, even just footwork, I would say, isn't on par with what you would want in a 4 in today's NBA, which is part of the reason why
he's not good.
Part of the reason why somebody like Kristaps has had so much trouble too, because it's like he shoots. You can tell he wants to shoot. He wants to be a 4.
He
has the body of a
guard.
Yeah, but he has the body of a 5. He's a 7'3", like, I don't even know if I'd say Klay Thompson. Like,
he's a 7.
It's weird.
7'3", Buddy Hield.
Yes.
He's a 7'3", Buddy Hield.
Yep. Because I wouldn't say he plays perimeter
defense. He doesn't rebound enough because he's always on the perimeter.
Exactly.
So his rebounds are always in like 6 or 7.
He rarely posts up. Here's where I think Kristaps could really shine, but it seems like none of the coaches who have coached him agree. I think Kristaps could be a great player in the mid-range, a la Tim Duncan, because you can get, number one, closer to the basket, which should be an advantage for somebody who's 7'3". But number two, you don't have to necessarily post up. You can literally just take 2 dribbles and fade away jump shot or dribble pull up or whatever. Or like Dirk, I should say. Like Dirk shot 3s, but most of Dirk's points came in the mid-range.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's where Kristaps should be. And I was honestly kind of surprised that it didn't work out in Dallas, having Rick Carlisle there, who coached Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you can play exactly like him if you wanted to.
And be better, like 12 times better defensively.
Right.
Like when he was with New York, bro, like he was like with the young stars, he was getting compared to the Giannis's and the Joel Embiids.
Yeah.
Like
that was when he was the unicorn.
Right. The term unicorn is used for everybody because of Porzingis. Obviously, KD
he was the first.
But he was the first one of their generation who was a unicorn.
Yeah.
Because he played before Joel played. Because Joel missed the years, and Giannis wasn't Giannis yet.
I think he only played 1 year before Joel.
Yeah, because he was drafted in
the year after.
Yeah, he was the year after. He played that year, and then Joel came back the following season.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he just showed so much.
He did. And if you think about it, even though he could shoot 3s, most of that came from the mid range or in the paint.
Dude was doing putback dunks from the 3-point line.
He was.
Yo, Melo was so happy, bro. He was so happy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go back to this point so we can see it from the Utah Jazz's perspective.
Hmm.
Utah, y'all fleeced the fuck out of them.
They did.
You got
They did.
Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Jared Vanderbilt, and five first round picks if we count Kessler, who was a first round pick this year. You fleeced the fuck out of them.
And listen, if I'm Minnesota, I would definitely do that trade. I would not throw in Patrick Beverly or right. I wouldn't
like
throw them
Malik
both
Beasley,
in together.
Malik Beasley is the most replaceable. I think
Yeah.
Jared Vanderbilt helped Cat because he was the rebounder. He was a rebounder. He could play the defense. He
Yep.
helped them a lot. And that's going to Utah. Utah, like y'all did a great job. I don't know how they pulled this off.
But even Patrick, because sorry to cut you off, but Patrick gave them that edge and that like grittiness that Jimmy did, but he wasn't an asshole about it.
Some
Jimmy's an asshole.
He's the reason,
deservedly so. Yeah,
he's the reason Cat really put form like the way he did because he was in that era.
Yeah, like Jimmy, I'd say takes it to another level just because he's so good. So it's rightfully so. He can get into another star's face and like literally say some shit that'll hurt your feelings and mean every little bit of it without worrying at all about getting traded or anything.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's the best player on the team.
And as all it's like for personnel, you normally let you say shit like that when you know the person.
Right.
For like I know I can say this to you because I know your reaction is, all right, I'm gonna listen and then I'm gonna do better. Some people can't be like, some people will hear that shit be like, the fuck are you talking to? That's why him and Joel mesh so well because Joel can take criticism
and give it back.
Right. Like legit. Like if you look, Shaq has called him out. Charles Barkley has called him out. And what the fuck did he do? He went out there and had his best game. Each time he was called out, he had his best game. Jimmy said he wasn't shooting enough. Joel hit 6 threes in the fucking game.
Yep.
So it's different. I guess like you said, Jimmy is so good that he could say certain shit that Patrick Beverly can't.
Right. But
so
having a Pat is great because he can be that agitator or whatever, but he stays within himself, at least on his team. Mm-hmm. He's going to say shit that he shouldn't be saying to the other team.
Yes.
Like obviously his head is a little big when it comes to that, but when it's his teammates, he's shown that he's been like a really, really good teammate.
Yes.
So 1000%. I think that was a perfect pickup for them. I wasn't sure why they would include him in this trade. I mean, it just didn't really make sense. I would see, Vanderbilt and Beasley and picks and somebody else to make if you got to make the money work. But
I think
I wouldn't trade Patrick Beverly.
But it has not been reported. But I think that there was another team pursuing Rudy Gobert, and the Timberwolves were like, "Fuck it, put everything in. We want them. We want him. Like put everything in. We want him." And that's what I think happened.
I think that's probably right, but I don't know if Gobert is the player that you do that for.
He's not.
I think
you don't have to think he's not. He's not.
Yeah,
bro.
like not for that team. If we were talking about like, I don't know, the Clippers or even the Suns, like the Suns could use Gobert like as a defensive player and just a lob catcher. Like Chris Paul would make Gobert look amazing.
See what he did with DeAndre Jordan.
Right.
Shit, what he did with Clint Capella.
Exactly. DeAndre Jordan, Clint Capella, even Ayton. I mean, you could argue Chris Paul is part of the reason why Ayton is about to get paid what he's about to get paid.
For sure, 100%.
So, but for Minnesota, your best player is technically a center. So it's not best player now. I guess Anthony Edwards could be the best player, but your second best player, the guy who's been the face of your franchise for the past 7 years, he's a center. So it's like, I don't know if you go all in like that for another center. Mm-hmm. If you were getting a small forward who was like a tremendous 3-and-D small forward, if this
not even that, go trade for fucking Miles fucking Turner, who's going to be less.
Yeah,
does the same thing as Rudy Gobert does,
thing, and he can
shoot.
Yeah,
and on top of that, it's not like Utah where they're conflicted on who to trade. They just fucking trade Malcolm Brogdon for a fucking bag of chips. Like literally, like they're already on the look. Like we're going towards a future. Halliburton, I think they got Matherin. I think Benedict Matherin is one of their picks.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah.
this year. Bring back Jabari Smith. I think it was they got from Phoenix. So they're going all in on their young talent. So you could have gave that to Miles Turner. Obviously, Miles Turner is not a great rebounder at all. He's just not. I don't know
But
why.
Still, the combination of him and Cat
way better
on the floor together, if they are on the floor together, would be way better, like you
Way
say.
better.
And we've already seen that Turner can play with other bigs.
Yes, he played with Sabonis. Yes.
So we haven't really
and
seen.
it would be cheaper.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't really seen that from Gobert.
At all.
Partially because they literally couldn't do it. They could not afford to have another big on the floor with Gobert because he's such an offensive liability. Whereas with with Indiana, Sabonis and Turner can both get their own shot and both hit outside shots, so it was a lot easier. Same thing with Boston. Robert Williams and Al Horford on the floor together at the same time. Like, certain teams can get away with that. Yeah.
If you like your one of your bigs have to be skilled somewhat fashion on the perimeter.
Yeah.
They just have to be skilled. And Miles Turner I'm not going to say he is a perimeter defender, but he can at times defend the perimeter way better than Rudy Gobert, who literally we switch onto him. Like we literally
they hunt Rudy Gobert on the perimeter.
Rudy Gobert. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even a guy like Joel, who's not a great perimeter defender, teams are not trying to switch onto Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Like legit. Like look at the clip. Look at Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo thought he had a switch on Joel. He thought he had a mismatch, and Joel clamped his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Cat not doing that. Rudy Gobert's not doing that.
Right.
So you're really banking on Anthony Edwards taking a step forward.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because
pretty much, unless I don't know. I mean, unless they plan on moving Cat, I don't know. But
they just signed him to a contract extension, so I doubt that they're going to try to move him. They're going to at least try to see this through, at least for a couple of years.
Yeah, probably. And maybe a year.
Hopefully they realize this fast, because as he gets older, Rudy Gobert's contract is going to look uglier and uglier. Because at the end of his contract, he's going to be like 32. Wait,
it's gonna
34,
look like
getting paid $50 million.
It's going to look like a Joakim Noah situation.
It's going to look worse than a Joakim Noah situation. Joakim Noah was getting paid $25 million at the end of his career. He's getting paid $25 million more.
But Noah was not playing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Even when he did play, he was not worth $25 million.
But he's gonna play, and I just don't think he ages greatly. He does not age greatly.
No.
Players that are one-sided normally don't age greatly, because once they lose that one skill, they're no longer an NBA player. Yeah. Like if JJ,
he doesn't seem to be showing any improvement is the thing. Like Vince Carter completely changed his game from the beginning of his career to the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Blake Griffin,
but he worked on it. Rudy Gobert doesn't seem to be doing anything to get better at being like a better offensive player, like shooting, or it's like Ben Simmons. Like
I was just about to say that.
He doesn't seem to be putting in any effort to become a better offensive player.
In their mind, in their very weird fucking mind, I just got paid $100+ million, and
right, I'm an all-star. I've won these awards.
Right.
Yeah.
I just got paid $100 million for what I do.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would I change it?
Yeah. For Rudy, it's like, I've got all this money. I'm a multiple-time all-star, multiple-time defensive player of the year. For Ben, it's I'm multiple-time
Ben
all-star,
has more to hang on to than Rudy. I'm a playmaker. I could defend. I'm great in transition. I could do dribble handoff, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ben has more to hang his hat on, even though I fucking hate him. But he has more to hang his hat on than Rudy Gobert. With Rudy Gobert, I'm gonna set a screen.
Definitely more talented. Ben Simmons is more talented than Rudy Gobert. I would argue Ben Simmons is more deserving of his money than Rudy Gobert is.
He's still deserving of his money. Nobody questions him getting his money. He deserves that money. Like James Harden, he's not just James Harden is old, but he still deserves around that 30 million mark because of what he provides, what other things he does. So he definitely
Even at
deserves his
this
money.
stage of career, he's definitely giving you like
20, bro.
20 points, 10 assists a
And
game,
yes,
period.
yes, and that might go up. He was averaging 10 assists with the Nets. He's now playing with the center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that
And
might that
they have like one of the high, even in their limited time together in their regular season, they had like one of the
they were the best offense.
highest efficiency ratings for like pick and roll, two man pick and roll plays in the league.
Um,
So you're right, it'll probably go up. In the regular season games, he had like a couple 13, 14,
yes,
15 assist games.
in a row,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
row, and just dumping it down to Joel. I just don't like the bounce
And
passes.
if Tyrese takes another step too, it'll probably
Right.
go up again as
And
well.
this is why I'm actually excited about this season. I haven't been excited about a Sixer season for a while, because everybody plays.
Hmm.
Like everybody can play both sides. Everybody can shoot. Everyone can, everybody. We have a
Yeah.
team filled of people who aren't scared. Like,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Like, not shot at Ben Simmons, but we've had players before, like a TJ McConnell, not a shooter. He's a
Yeah.
playmaker defender. Like, we have a lot of guys that could do a lot of things. That's why I'm
There's
so happy about this. I'm
there's
excited about this
been
season.
there's been probably 3 teams that I've seen during these past 4 or 5 years or whatever that the Sixers have put together that I thought like that team can legitimately win a championship.
That Jimmy,
2018 when we had Ursan and Marco off the bench, and we had Dario and Robert Covington and
yeah, we was deep
Ben and
as
Joel.
fuck. We were
Right,
deep as hell.
really deep team, a lot of shooters. JJ, of course. Not as much defensive,
Yeah,
presence, especially on the bench.
hell yeah. But
2019,
yeah,
or I'm sorry, yeah, 2019 when we, got Jimmy, Tobias, JJ, Joel, Ben. Same really good team,
if that team would have
not
stayed
not so
together,
good bench. That was probably the most talented starting lineup we've ever had.
yes.
Not a great bench. We had to give up most of our bench to get Jimmy and Tobias in the first
Can
place.
we not talk about the 2020 to 2020 season? Let's just not talk
No,
about it.
no, no, no. That's not one of the 3 teams. I was gonna
Okay.
say number
I
three
was
is
like,
this.
can
I
we
was gonna
not?
say number 3 is this team right now. This is probably the most balanced team we've ever had. Because even last year, we had a really good team. Well, we had a really balanced starting lineup.
Yeah,
The bench was, we didn't really know what the bench was because Matisse was still like not particularly good offensively. I mean, still not really all that
yeah.
great offensively, but he was in a better position this year because there was no Ben.
Hmm.
So you never had more than one
He can
non-shooter
play
on the floor.
literally the Ben role
Yeah, right.
of dunker spot. I mean, he did.
Yeah, right.
And
And he played that great.
he averaged the most points has averaged in the last 3 years.
Right. And last year Tyrese was a rookie, so we really didn't know what we were getting out of him. But still, those two are probably the two bright spots of our bench.
If
Now, this team going into the year is definitely the most balanced team, starters and bench, that I think we've had in a very long time.
I think
Like,
this is the most balanced team we've had ever.
I wouldn't say ever.
I mean,
I wouldn't say ever.
in the present era, that's not
In our lifetimes, yes.
1983 when we won the championship. Yes,
Yeah.
this is the most balanced team we've had. It just from the top to bottom. It's
Yeah.
versatile.
Because like even in 2012 when we went to the second round and, took Boston to 7 games or whatever, like that was a pretty that was a deep team, but we were not good. We were not a good shooting team.
We have
Like,
a whole bunch of average to above average defenders now. We
right.
have no holes. Like, as
Right.
much as I like Seth Curry was a blow by man.
Yeah.
Like his offense had to equal out to the number he was giving up or
Yeah.
else he was not supposed to be on the floor. Matisse Thybulle was like that too. But now you add in your D'Anthony Meltons, who will be a scorer and can do that. He has a lot of Matisse in his game, whereas like he has a lot of like pick steals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
And that's the thing, like we still have Matisse, like we still have
yes,
potential trade pieces.
we have
Obviously Tobias Harris is still on the table, I guess, but if we started the season right now, we're good. I think.
We could throw out a death lineup,
Yep.
a death defensive lineup.
Yep.
Melton, Matisse, PJ, Daniel House,
Joel.
and Joel.
Yep.
We could just throw out that lineup. Hey, we need to stop.
Yep.
And then
at the other end, just give the ball to Joel.
Right, and then on top of that, other than Matisse, who's not the most consistent, everybody else can shoot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like that lineup, I would think that he would go to that lineup. That lineup would be something we see.
Mm-hmm.
Still got George Niang. Did you watch the summer league game?
I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the whole game.
I was at work, so I couldn't watch it.
Paul Reed had a pretty good game. I'm forgetting his name already. The guy we drafted a couple years ago.
Jaden Springer,
yes.
Yes.
Had a really good game as well. Neither one of them were really like standout stars or anything like that, but they both showed like their capabilities, and I think Paul was maybe taking it easy a little bit because he knows he's going to actually be playing like in the real season.
He's not he's only playing in Utah. He's not playing in the Las Vegas Summer League.
Right. But yeah, Jaden Springer showed a lot of flashes, super athletic.
Defensively showed a lot.
Yeah.
That fucking bro took the fucking ball out the air, bro.
Yeah.
And Ja dapped him up. It's nice to see. I think if anybody makes the rotation, obviously it probably would be a Paul Reed or a Charles Bassey. Because we don't have a backup center as of right now.
Right.
And it might just be for the fact that Darren Murray was like, we legit have two guys on the bench who should be playing. Like who literally should be playing. So Doc, figure it out. Let them go 41 and 41, and whoever you decide to play in the playoffs plays in the playoffs. Obviously, it could be due to matchup. Hey, we got more of a guys who could shoot. Let's put Paul Reed out there because he can defend the perimeter. We got a guy who's like the bang down low. All right, let's put Charles Bassey in there. So
he's bigger.
Yeah, so you could do it like that. Obviously, just get them reps because you're in a situation where you decline to play them. You play DeAndre Jordan, and now you throw them in there and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Literally bumping into players on plays because they don't fucking know the plays. You got to let them get reps in a real game.
So is Charles Bassey playing in Vegas?
Charles Bassey is playing in Vegas.
Okay,
he's playing in both. He's playing. We played in Utah. He's playing currently in Utah, and he will play. He will be the starter. He started this
Vegas.
In Vegas.
Okay.
Because what's his name? Petrosev is coming over. I really like Petrosev when from last summer league, but we literally have no roster spots. Literally, we don't have roster spots again. So you're probably just gonna like release him.
Yeah,
he's
if we do manage to trade Matisse, even if it's for first round picks, I would like to bring him over.
He's a center.
Yeah, but still, like it's just another person competing for that backup center spot.
I just feel like we should focus on what we should focus on, and that's Charles and Paul, before we add somebody else to the situation.
Sure.
Unless, like, if we're going to go for a center, go for a center that is proven versus a center that we're competing.
Right.
Like, DeMarcus Cousins is still out there, if you just want to bring him on. If you say you want to get gritty, DeMarcus Cousins.
Hey, it don't get that much more gritty.
Right. Like
DeMarcus Cousins, Patrick Beverley, and Draymond Green are probably the current league leaders toxic in all-time technical fouls.
Right. You want somebody like that? DeMarcus Cousins is out there. And
DeMarcus and PJ playing together? Oh my God.
And guess what, guys? Guess what? He's a former Rocket.
Yep.
Actually, DeMarcus and PJ did play together.
Yeah, I know.
They did play together. Former Rocket. Patrick Beverley. Imagine a lineup of Patrick Beverley, PJ Tucker, and DeMarcus Cousins.
Everybody falling out.
Right. And then it's even just adding PJ. Let's just adding Patrick. You have Patrick, who's an instigator.
Mm-hmm.
PJ, who's about that shit. And then Joel, who's another fucking instigator.
Yep.
just imagine fucking PJ going head to head with somebody and fucking Patrick Beverly over there just fucking clapping. Like literally, like just him over there clapping.
Like in their face.
Yeah, like that'd be literally like
We would be the most annoying team to play.
yes.
Which would be perfect because we were already the most annoying fan base.
Right. So not only do you have the most annoying talkers, you would then have
Mm-hmm.
Matisse Thybulle, who's another annoying player, not for talking, just because this motherfucker don't give up. Like he just
Yeah.
don't give up.
Yeah.
Like I've seen
Like
this man.
you think you're past him, and then out of nowhere
Right.
he just blocks your shot or
Like
strips you from
Kemba
behind.
literally crossed this man over. He touched
Yep.
earth, still found a way to get up and block Kemba's shot. Like Kemba didn't drive. He legit shot the ball, and Matisse Thybulle magically appeared and blocked the shot.
Yep.
So that team defensively, oh my god,
Yeah.
God.
And still with great scorers.
Right.
Still with James Harden, still with Tyrese Maxey, still with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, like legit scorers.
Yes.
Guys who on any team, Tobias Harris on any other team is an all-star probably. Like if Tobias Harris was on, like
A team that actually needed
if Tobias was on the Jazz or the Suns, like he's probably an all-star. Maybe not the Suns, but the Jazz, he's probably an all-star.
All right. So
Trade.
I lost my train of
Kevin.
thought.
Kevin?
There was something else I want to talk about
Oh, okay, go ahead.
that I forgot. So I guess not.
Oh,
Yeah, I made. Let's get to the Kevin. That's Kevin. It all goes into the Kevin Durant thing. Kevin Durant.
and Kyrie, because Kyrie's unfortunately a big part of this as well.
Yes, I made a trade.
Okay.
I made a gigantic ass trade
Okay.
that actually garnered positive reviews. Again, this is new to me. I post my shit. I want people to see it. Like I want people to see that I deserve to be a GM in the NBA. So this is a 5-team trade. All right. So I'm gonna try to
Okay.
break it down for teams where the team is losing versus and getting back because there's a lot of pieces everywhere. All right. The Lakers are getting in this trade, in this 5-team trade, Kyrie Irving, Joe Harris. They are trading. Brooklyn is getting, well, they're trading Russell Westbrook, Tyler Herton Tucker, a first-round pick in 2029, and a first-round pick in 2027. Right?
Okay.
The Nets are also are trading Kevin Durant to the Suns for Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and like I think I was like, how many first round picks did I give them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 first round picks. Only 2 are protected, and those are in the later years. 5 first round picks plus 2 from LA. So that's 7 first round picks Brooklyn would be getting. Brooklyn also would be getting Furkan Korkmaz, Paul Reed, and three not first round picks, 3 second round picks, and the Sixers will be getting Seth Curry.
Oh, okay.
And let's go back to Phoenix. A trade with Philadelphia, Phoenix will make. When Phoenix will get George Niang, Shake Milton, and 2 second round picks. And the Philadelphia 76ers would get Jay Crowder.
Oh.
The Sixers will trade Tobias Harris to Utah Jazz. I've put him to Utah Jazz so many fucking times, so you should already know who they're getting back. Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, and a 2029 top 10 protected pick, first round pick for Jordan Clarkson and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Anybody missing out? The Lakers would give the Jazz Kendrick Nunn for just to clear space. Yeah.
Okay.
Gigantic ass trade.
That is a big trade. That is what is it? 5 teams, right?
5 teams.
Utah, Brooklyn, Phoenix, Philly. Who else was it?
Brooklyn, Utah, Phoenix, Philly, and Lakers.
Lakers, right. That's a lot.
Yes. and it got positive reviews.
I'm trying to think
A
of.
Brooklyn
Well,
Nets fan said, "I would do that."
I don't think it's a bad deal at all.
It's hard to
The
make a
problem is
five-team trade where everybody gets
exactly,
some shit.
exactly.
I
I don't think
literally,
it's a
this was
bad
an
deal at
hour and
all.
a
But the
half.
problem is 5 teams. Now, if you were talking about a 3-team and then another trade between just 2 teams, that's one thing. But a 5-team trade, that's a lot. That type of thing rarely ever happens. Usually
Less
one team always finds one thing wrong and they're like, no, we're not doing
the
it.
last multiple, I think, 5-team trade was the Dwight Howard trade. That was the last
To
one
where?
when Dwight
To
Howard went to
Lakers?
the Lakers. Andrew Bynum
Okay.
came to the Sixers. Iggy went to Denver, and like a whole bunch of
Mm-hmm.
other pieces moved around. That was the
Yeah.
last gigantic trade like that.
Yeah.
And you know
And that
this,
didn't work out for
but
anybody.
this is the whole thing. Kevin Durant musters this big of a trade happening,
Yeah.
and from what I've heard,
I mean, and at the time, Dwight Howard did as well.
yeah.
So,
From,
I
from
get it.
and from what I've heard, Philly is going to be a part of this deal.
I mean, I'm fine with that. As long as we don't give up, or as long as we don't give up more than we get in return, as far as players.
Right. So subtract the Kyrie, subtract the Utah. Brooklyn, Phoenix, and Philly are rumored to be in this deal if it happens. But I also had something today that Brooklyn declined an offer for Kevin Durant from Phoenix, and Phoenix. This is I made this trade before I found out this news.
Mm-hmm.
That Brooklyn declined a trade offer for Kevin Durant from Phoenix, and the package included Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and 5 first-round picks. So they added one more player in Cam Johnson, and they still declined it.
Wow.
And then there was a report literally 6 minutes ago. The Nets wants the biggest trade ever.
I think the Nets, I'm not going to say they're shooting themselves in the foot at all because, I mean, look at what the Sixers just did with Ben Simmons. We were holding out for the longest and ended up getting what we wanted.
Yes.
I'm not going to sit here and say the Nets are getting too greedy because somebody's going to give them what they want is Kevin Durant.
And this whole thing with the Ben Simmons situation, we wouldn't trade it for James Harden if James Harden did not win out.
Right. Which I think if you're Phoenix, the player that you have who might want out, maybe not want out, but who might want to change the scenery or some type of change is DeAndre Ayton.
No, he wants out.
But he's not
in a position to leave.
Yeah, he's not in a position to leave, and on top of that, he's not really on. He's not on the same level as a Kevin Durant. Because even in Brooklyn, James Harden was on a little bit of a decline. He wasn't the James Harden of Houston. Ben Simmons is kind of stagnant, but he's still so young that it kind of was like, all right, he's accomplished this much this early in his career that it might be worth it. Yeah, and he fits alongside our other stars.
You see the Warriors one with Draymond, and Ben is Draymond, literally.
Right.
As 6'10".
Minus Draymond minus the confidence.
Right. Yeah.
So that trade made a little bit more sense. With DeAndre Ayton and Kevin Durant, it's a completely different situation because the Nets don't necessarily need a DeAndre Ayton. So they're going to be a little less inclined to do that. But also at the same time, it's like there's nobody out there who can give you what you want. Like nobody's going to be able to give you what Kevin Durant is probably worth. That's just not possible. So you're going to have to just take the best deal you can get. If you wait until the trade deadline, Kevin might get hurt. Like we've already seen that Kevin is pretty injury prone. By the time we get to, February or March or whatever, Kevin might be out for the season and then you can't get shit for him. Or you're going to be forced to take less. Like you're better off just taking the best deal you can right now and just getting a team together and start building from there. I think especially when you got offers like that. That's an amazing offer. And I think the whole Minnesota-Utah thing is like throwing everybody off because it's like, well, if they got that for Gobert, then look what we can get for Kevin. But the problem is Minnesota are idiots. So like that deal should not have happened. You can't compare a bad deal to a fair one.
This is the whole thing. this is what shoots like you said. Phoenix traded for Kevin Durant probably is a shot in the foot because of what Rudy got.
Yeah,
If I'm Brooklyn, I did everything I did. I want everything Kevin Durant asked. I did everything he wanted.
yeah.
I had to do the best. Like we don't have our first round picks. We don't have nothing like that. Shit. Hey Kevin. Yeah, you're going to Detroit. Like you're going to Detroit, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it
Because
there's
it's literally like, bro, like I said, you're not gonna get what you deserve, probably.
like I said this when we were at work. I didn't say this on pod. Kevin Durant is too valuable to be traded.
Yeah, yeah,
Like his trade value is godly, but you can't. It's not like you're going to trade him to a rebuilding team. He wants to trade to a team that compete, which means the picks that you get aren't shit. And
right,
normally they probably wouldn't make that trade, but
right.
since they did the trade prior to trade away their first round picks, they need more to compensate for the shit that they lost in James Harden trade. So they're
Yeah,
in a very weird spot. A very weird
it's
spot.
it's interesting because it's you know it's the opposite of the Ben Simmons situation where like when we wanted to trade Ben, his trade value was at an all time low because of what happened in the playoffs. That was his fault, and it was mental.
Mm-hmm.
With Kevin Durant hasn't done anything to diminish his own trade value.
Dude towards Achilles came back and averaged 30.
Yeah, and to be honest, in that Milwaukee series, if he's 3 inches behind the line, we might be. This might not even we not might not even be having this conversation. Like
Right
they
now.
might be champions. So it's hard to really evaluate how much Kevin Durant is worth when he hasn't done anything besides having an injury like in being injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, there's literally nothing you could point to about Kevin Durant and say that's why we can't offer you this amount of money or this amount of assets or whatever.
Right.
Like so Brooklyn's in a tough spot because they know what Kevin's worth, but you sort of have to come to terms with the fact that nobody can really offer you that.
Do you trade him?
Especially not the teams that he's listed. Like he literally said, "Yeah, I'll take either number 1 seed. Thanks." Like either one of the number 1 seeds will be fine with me.
If I'm Brooklyn, I'm trading his ass to Houston and I'm getting my picks back. I'm getting my picks back.
The literal same picks.
I'm getting my picks back plus Houston's picks. And
Yeah.
we just do a swap. Just do a little swap.
There's really no team that can offer you what you want without decimating their own roster.
Cuz
With their own future.
they still have our picks. Well,
And
our
the
pick
money.
next year. So, you,
Yeah.
you add on to that like in a trade or similar to a trade like I just pointed out and you get 7 first round picks. Obviously you're getting picks from potentially good teams, right?
Yeah.
And the Lakers, you don't know. Kyrie is whatever. Bron is old. AD is injury prone. So that might be top 10 picks that you're
Yeah.
getting. And mind you, they can't trade any current picks because
Right.
those are traded to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So these are 2029, 2027 picks. The 2027
They're not gonna be good at that point.
right. And they will have no choice but to trade it unprotected because it's so far in the future, and you're getting Kyrie, and I'm taking Westbrook. You have to make them unprotected.
Yeah.
So obviously you want the best package possible, but like KD is too fucking valuable to get everything you want and
Yeah.
send him to a contender.
If I'm Brooklyn, I'm not even thinking about picks. Because obviously the thing is like they don't want to go from being a good team to being a rebuilding team in the span of a year. And I get it, right? I can see why that would be frustrating. But the minute you lose Kevin Durant, you lose pretty much all hope of winning a championship. So the best you could do is go from being a good team to a team that's playoff caliber, probably a fourth or fifth seed that has players that they can develop into superstars. That's the trade that I would make. If I can't get a whole bunch of picks, I'm fine with that. So the trade that I put together, I'll show it up on the screen. This is the trade that I put together. So in this trade, the Nets don't get any picks, but they get in return Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, Azubuike, I can never pronounce his name. Udoka, I think, I can never pronounce his name, and Mikal Bridges.
But
The
why?
Suns get.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, good. No, keep on. I didn't see DeAndre Ayton at the bottom.
Yeah, the Suns get Kevin Durant. The Jazz get Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Ayton, and 2 picks. That's a pretty even trade. Like it says, the Jazz are going to lose games. I don't really see them losing that many more games without Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. You're replacing Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell with Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Ayton.
This is the whole thing.
I don't see them losing that many more games, but they also get more picks.
I can see it.
That many more games?
Yes. Have we
losing 3 players, one who doesn't play?
Have we forgotten who Kyrie Irving is?
Well, remember, part of the reason why Kyrie couldn't play most of the season wasn't Kyrie's fault. It was the vaccine thing, which isn't a thing in Utah.
But I just don't trust Kyrie, bro. Like I
don't either.
If I'm Utah, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching Kyrie.
I don't either. But at the end of the day, if your goal is to rebuild, you get a guy who's on an expiring contract in the very next year. Look how much money you clear, as opposed to what they're paying Mike Conley. And Mike Conley, let's face it, is not worth that amount of money.
Also, I would like to add in Utah. Utah has first round picks from the Timberwolves, who have a cap, who probably that shit probably is going to blow up in their face.
Right. So it's like you, you're basically kicking off your rebuild with you buy a year where you're still contending. You're probably not winning a championship. You're definitely not winning a championship, but you're still contending. You're still one of the better teams in the West. You still have one of the better 2-man duos in the West. And if it doesn't work out, fuck it. Like, we got all these picks. We can just let Kyrie Irving walk, and look at all the money that we have now. Like, the money and picks that we've stockpiled for the future. And on top of that, we have DeAndre Ayton for the next 4 years.
All right. So there's a lot of things that plays into this. One, Kevin Durant going to Phoenix. He's asked to be there. That's his number one destination.
And Phoenix gets him, I should say, and only losing 2 players and a pick.
I'm gonna say this: Donovan Mitchell is going to go where Donovan Mitchell wants to go.
Sure.
Right. He's not a Kevin Durant where it's hard to trade him because his value is extremely crazy. Donovan Mitchell, there's packages out there for him where the best player you get back is Tyler Hero, right?
Right.
So it's all about, I think that trade more so. I know Donovan's from New York. He's from the New York area, so cool. But why would I want to be traded to another situation where I can't win?
2 reasons. Number 1, you're in the East. Number 2, it's actually a better team than the Jazz. Already still having Mike Conley, who's a serviceable player, but now you're on the team with Mikal Bridges and Ben Simmons and Seth Curry and Joe Harris. You're on a better team, and you're in the East. And you're in the East.
I forget Ben Simmons as a player sometimes.
Yeah, and you're in the East. So it's like, you probably have a better chance to win because you're not playing the defending champs like 4 times a year or in the playoffs. The biggest competition that they're going to have to face are probably Philly, Miami, and Milwaukee. I think this team could already compete with Boston.
See, this is the thing about
if everybody's healthy.
Boston
and Nick Claxton, by the way.
Boston got better.
Boston has gotten better.
Philly's gotten better.
Boston has gotten better, but have any of them gotten better than the Warriors?
No.
So here's what I'm thinking about. The road to the finals no longer has to go through Golden State. If I'm Donovan Mitchell, that's what I'm thinking. I no longer have to play against LeBron or Golden State to get to the finals. To get there, the best players that I have to beat are probably Giannis, Joel, and Jimmy. And I don't know. I guess you could throw Jason Tatum in there as well, but for Boston, it's obviously much more of a team effort thing.
I think Boston has to prove it this year
Yeah,
that last year wasn't bullshit.
a fluke. Yeah,
Even though they
which
made it to the
every
finals and they won 2 games, they got to prove it again because they've had
right,
a whole bunch of ups and downs.
because every year there's that team
Yeah,
that gets further than anybody expected them to. Boston, obviously, credit to them for turning it around, but we can't forget that they had
yeah.
one of the worst records in the
Literally,
East.
we're thinking about trading Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, up until like late December. So they're like you said, they have to sort of prove that that wasn't bullshit, and they have to be able to do it again. They did get better, but you know, they got better, but at the same time, you now have a much bigger target on your back too. So it's like now, how do you deal with that?
Okay, in a hypothetical situation where Kevin Durant values too high, and Brooklyn says, "All right, we're just
Well,
gonna
wait,
stick."
but before you say that, answer this question: is that a good return for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie, see, all right,
Like for
yeah,
the Nets, is that a good return?
for Kyrie and KD, yes.
I mean, it has them winning what 8 more games.
Yeah,
Everybody else has them losing games. I don't see how the Suns lose. Well,
but
it's only
they
two.
lose
So
flexibility in a way because once again they don't have those draft picks. So
who
they
the Nets?
so they wouldn't be able to get the team better, not by drafting, but by packaging those picks to bring in more players.
Who?
The Nets.
Oh, you're right. Right.
So they would lose that flexibility, that lean back option. Okay, we need to go get a player. Let's trade this first round pick. They don't have it.
They don't have that, but they do have a lot of tradable players.
Yeah,
They still have Bruce Brown. They
but
still have
I mean, in a
Patty
sense
Mills.
that Bruce Brown's on the Nuggets.
He is.
Yes.
Oh well,
Uh,
Patty Mills, Seth Curry.
but this is the thing. First round picks are more valuable than Seth Curry and
No, I
Patty
know, but
Mills.
I'm saying you have players who you could move for picks. You
Yeah.
have tradable assets still.
See, this is the thing. You will have to trade for them in a regular season. And
Yeah,
during draft night, those picks become extremely fucking valuable. The same picks that you could trade
I don't
fucking
know
Patty
about
Mills
that.
for, I feel
I
like
don't
they
know
become.
about that. We traded Danny Green and the 23rd pick for DeAnthony Melton. The Grizzlies got Danny Green and the 23rd pick for DeAnthony Melton. I think if you're the Nets and draft night, you want to move up from like
But they're
29.
also getting Danny Green. Like they're keeping Danny Green.
Danny Green's not playing, and he's on the last year of his contract. He's not staying in Memphis. They know that. Like he's 30, what 35, and just tore his ACL. Danny Green's not playing. They literally did that for the 23rd pick.
Who looked terrible yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. But I
They,
mean,
they just
I
drafted.
think it's possible. I think you can get a late first round pick for Seth Curry for sure on any point of the year.
Mhm. No, definitely Seth Curry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they still or Patty Mills. They still have tradable assets.
Yeah.
Patty Mills, Seth Curry.
You know,
Hell, they might even be able to get a couple seconds for Claxton. Like,
you know what I mean. If I'm Patty Mills, if Seth Curry, I'm asking for a trade to go back to Philly. You know,
I
that's
mean,
that's more so me wanting that. But
yeah, I know it's wishful thinking.
I really like Seth Curry.
Yeah, but I think the Nets have enough. They have enough player flexibility. They don't have picks, but they have players on reasonable contracts that are pretty young, that are still really good players. Like Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges. That's a pretty good core to build around
Okay.
with good role players still, veteran role players at that.
I wanna
They
hop.
still have LaMarcus Aldridge, even though he's probably leaving.
No, he's free agent.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like they have yet to re-sign him
Oh well, he's
or Blake.
also yet to sign anywhere else. I think it's over for
Right,
him.
right. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think it's
Like
over for him.
I think they're still there. I think the Nets are kind of like us. Like they're sort of waiting for some of the other bigger dominoes to fall before they make any other small decisions.
They literally have the biggest domino.
Right, right. And that's where all their attention is going right now.
Yeah, I remember this. I'm looking at fucking Charles Bassey highlights. That game he went against Jokic and Jokic could not fucking do shit with him,
Mm-hmm.
and we sat that on the bench for DeAndre Jordan.
Yep. Yep.
See this.
Yep.
So, have you watched some of the summer league games? Have you watched the well, not just Sixer games, but Chet's debut?
I did. I did.
I didn't watch it. I watched the highlights. Once again, I was at work. Um, Chet looks good. He looks really good. My only problem is, if he takes a charge from LeBron, he's gonna die. Like, he's gonna die. He's literally gonna die.
It'll look like he got shot by like a sawed-off shotgun in the chest at point blank range. Like it'll be a hole where his heart used to be.
I don't know how his injury past is, but like he is like.
It's actually pretty good.
Bone.
It's actually pretty good. He's a little bit like a young KD, where like he's small but he's tough. Like he's tough and he's got the confidence and the definitely the confidence of somebody who's going to be a star in the league. I think the thing that stood out to me most was that he had a very efficient game. He didn't just take a whole bunch of crazy shots. Like he definitely picked his spots pretty well. He had like 23 points,
26
6 blocks, 9 rebounds, in like 23 and a half minutes. So really efficient game.
I just said something to your phone. I literally opened up Instagram and this was the first thing I seen.
So, okay. But yeah, like that was what stood out the most to me was his efficiency. Him playing really well, or his stats didn't really jump out at me because that Utah team that they were playing, that summer league team, is not. Those guys are not NBA players.
Yeah.
So that didn't really stand out to me. The stats didn't stand out to me all that much. I expected him to dominate, but for that to be his first game and for him to be as efficient as he was and as effective as he was on the defensive end, where a lot of people thought like, oh, well, because he's long and he's tall, of course he's going to get block shots in college. But in the NBA, when guys can literally just push him around or push him out the way, that's not gonna work. But he showed that he still got that shot blocking ability against guys who are actually bigger than him, guys who have like 30, 40 pounds on him. He blocked Taco Fall's shot.
Yeah.
So I think that should eliminate all questions about is he going to be able to do the same things in the NBA.
There was a rumor that no teams from the East was going to draft him, even though the top 3 picks were the top 3 picks. One was from the East.
Yeah,
and he wasn't going out of the top 3. There was
the top 4, I think. 2 East, 2 West.
Yeah, there was like no East teams were going to pick him. There's a rumor that no East
because of Joel Embiid.
They were like going up against Joel, Giannis,
and Giannis.
They were like he will die, like not saying that literally, but like he would not be able to physically hang with those guys. Like
he would have to be a stretch center. He would have to be like what Mo Bamba's turning into.
Yeah, like
and
then y'all would have to have a Cat Rudy Gobert type situation where Chet's not guarding him.
Yeah,
like even Giannis. When we play the Bucks, Giannis does not guard Joel. Brook Lopez guards Joel.
Right.
Just so Giannis don't get tired.
Right.
Like there has to be like Evan Mobley. Like Evan Mobley can't bang with Joel. That's why you have a Jarrett Allen. So yeah, I'm glad he didn't get drafted. You still have to play us 2 times a year, but
right.
Just 2 times a year. And it's going to be like one in the beginning of the season, one at the end.
Yeah, I think OKC is an interesting team.
Very.
First of all, they have 2. They call them the Slim Towers.
The Slim Towers, yes.
Chet Holmgren and what's his name? Pokusevski.
Poku.
Really interesting. He had a pretty good game as well.
Dude,
quiet
we're talking
game.
about 7-foot shooting guards.
Right.
Legit 7-foot shooting guards.
Josh Giddey also quiet game.
And
it was definitely a Chet. It was definitely a Chet showcase.
See, if I'm Josh Giddey, I really don't have shit to prove. Like,
right.
I'm more so here just for team chemistry.
Right.
Like Tyrese Maxey
And to
last
be
year.
a distraction.
Like Tyrese Maxey last year when he played in the summer league was just there for chemistry reasons.
Right.
Like he was way better than everybody else on the court. Like it was
Yeah.
obvious that he was just way better than everyone else.
Yeah.
And what I saw, I really like Jaden Springer's game.
Yeah.
I really like Jaden Springer's game defensively. We needed defense. I don't know why Jaden Springer wasn't called upon. We went to Charlie Brown Jr. before we went to our first round pick. I don't understand that.
Well, I think isn't Charles a little bit bigger?
He's bigger, but he's not better.
Well, I think it's more so they were trying to take switchability into account.
I mean,
Just having
Charlie Brown
guys.
is probably what 6'6".
Yeah.
Jaden
Yeah.
Springer is 6'4". And
I mean,
in my opinion, he's better than Charlie Brown defensively.
well, I don't know. We haven't seen him guard NBA players,
Right. All right.
so I don't know. I can't speak on that just yet.
I just feel
I
like
would say I will say I would like to see him though. Like I would like to evaluate that on the actual floor. Like they're in practice. Doc obviously gets to see things we don't get to see, but at the same time, it's like we don't know. Just because he can't guard Tobias doesn't mean he can't guard, Seth Curry.
Right.
It's like you can still give him a shot against someone else.
Yeah.
So
I definitely want to see more of him this year. Hopefully, he gets more of an opportunity. I think he played like 10 games last year, and they all were fucking 3 minutes or less.
You know what this reminds me of? It's not as bad though because the other guy was a legit NBA player and a really good scorer. It reminds me of the Trey Burke situation with Brett Brown.
Yeah.
It's like, why is he not playing?
Yeah.
Give me one legit reason why he is not your sixth man.
Yes.
And there literally was no reason.
AI
with Doc, it's like,
pulled
all right,
up to the game in a Trey Burke's jersey.
Yeah. It's
AI.
like with Jaden Springer, it's like, okay, he hasn't played against legit NBA talent yet. Okay, well, give him a game.
Right.
Give him a game to evaluate it.
Right.
It's with Trey Burke, it was worse because like we've already seen what he can do in the NBA.
He's a bucket.
Right. With Jaden, it's kind of like we don't know what we have yet.
And this
we
the
have
thing.
to give him a shot. Same thing with Charles Bassett. Well, Charles Bassett, we saw.
That was the 2020 season when we had Al Horford and Josh Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
We then release him. He signs with the Mavericks. Immediately hits 7 for 9 from 3.
Yep.
Obviously, he's not. I'm not saying we let go of a fucking legend. He's not a legendary player,
but he was definitely sixth man of the year potential.
He fit what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand losing Alec Burks when we had Alec Burks. I didn't understand losing him. Like he was sixth man of the year potential.
Yep.
Still is. He's in Detroit, so maybe he's obtainable now again.
Detroit
got a little team.
They did. They had a really nice offseason. This is a rare situation where most of the top teams in the draft immediately got players that they needed.
Because think about it, Shea's an all-star.
Yeah, and now you have Chet Holmgren next to Josh Giddey, who had a really good year and hopefully going to take a step forward.
Toronto already was already in a good place. They have the rookie of the year. Evan Mobley, Cleveland Cavaliers are a playoff team, I think, personally.
And they're about to get
Orlando is probably the only team where like I think they're at the bottom. But
still, I don't think they're at the bottom anymore. I think they took a legit step forward. I think the team that's going to be at the bottom
Rockets?
is the Spurs.
Oh, I thought it was Rockets.
No, the Spurs. I think the Rockets. I think if Jalen Green and
he has a way better season than he did last year.
Yeah, I think if he has a better, not even just more consistent.
Yes.
If he has a more consistent season, Kevin Porter Jr. perhaps takes a step, and then Jabari Smith can come in and be what some people thought was going to be the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he can live up to that, I think they're probably like a 9th or 10th seed in the West. For sure. Yep. Now,
I personally don't.
The Spurs, however, are definitely in rebuild mode. They traded away their two best young players
They can just swing, Doug McDermott over here if they want to,
if
just
they want to. Hey, why not?
we got Furcon. Furcon, I think he would look good in a black jersey.
Yeah.
Got y'all want Matisse, y'all gotta take a shot at Matisse. Matisse, y'all could develop. Y'all develop Kawhi. He was defensive player. Then Matisse
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and
Mm-hmm.
then we could trade back for Matisse after y'all develop him. Like man, imagine
I don't want to do that because then he's gonna be like, yeah, I want more money.
this is because like this is how soccer is. Like I don't know if you watch soccer. I think you said you don't watch soccer,
Not
but
really.
they will literally have a young prospect that would not be getting play, and it's not like the G League. They would go to a grown man's league and be like, hey, we're going to loan you such and such for 2 years. Literally. Let him
Mm-hmm.
develop over there for 2 years. Okay. Or a year and a half, and all they got to pay to bring him back. Like the loan can expire and you bring him back, or you could pay to bring him back. Like if you see some shit, oh yeah, okay, bring his ass back, and then he
A
just
little
joins
bit,
the team.
a little bit like a drafting stash with like the
Yes.
overseas players.
But unlike the drafting stats, you could bring them over. Like if
Yeah.
you see some shit you like, you could be like, all right, cool, I'm done. I've seen what I've needed. We're going to pay
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the whatever we owe you. He's on the team now.
Sort of like that in baseball. They send players to the minor leagues
Yeah, I mean,
or
like kind of
call them up.
it's more so. I think it's better in soccer because the opponent they go against is
Yeah.
more so like better like
Yeah.
than you would play in the G League or you would play in the minor league baseball. Like they can legit send somebody over to the Philadelphia Union. Like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no realm of when they can send somebody at. Like
Yeah.
literally, you could be in Spain and be like, okay, go to Philadelphia, go to Tennessee,
Yeah.
go to you know what I'm saying, go to
Yeah.
America, go to Portugal. Like you can literally put them anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You could get a player from anywhere. Like it's open. Like you literally trade. Imagine being somebody from Philadelphia, making the Philadelphia Union, and then getting traded to fucking China. Like you could
Yeah.
legit get traded to fucking China.
Yeah. Or Real Madrid.
Right. I mean,
Or
that doesn't happen
it
often.
probably won't happen, but still.
The MLB, the MLS is ranked 10.
Yeah, Reese Hoskins. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Let's get him over here. Let's get him put him
Yeah.
some cleats. All
Yep.
right, let's
Yep.
see what you can do, man.
Yeah.
The MLS is
Bryce
ranked
Harper, how you feeling?
right. The MLS is ranked 10th in terms of the best soccer places, soccer
Okay.
leagues. They're ranked 10th. That's the first time in
Not
America
bad.
we're not good at shit.
Right.
That's the only thing we're not good
Still,
at.
that's not that bad. I mean, considering soccer is probably the most played sport around the entire world,
Mhm.
and there's so many leagues.
We're 10th.
10th
Yeah,
is probably not that bad.
we're 10th.
Like almost every country has a soccer
And
league.
this is the thing about soccer that the NBA should probably take more into consideration. There's no cap on what you could give players.
Well, part of the reason why they do that in the NBA is because of the
Okay.
smaller towns. Whereas like in
Because
soccer, we've already seen how bigger cities have been able to sort of monopolize town. Like how long has Manchester United been like the team? Like or Real Madrid or uh oh, I cannot
it's over the one that Neymar and Messi played for.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Paris, PSG or something like that.
Yeah. Like for the most part, I think the problem was the NBA had like this thing where Boston and LA were winning all the games and like had all this money. And even in MLB, like with the Yankees, like we've seen how big market teams can afford to just throw money at people and get the best players. But in the NBA, in order to make it more competitive, they've tried to do this whole thing with the salary cap and also the bird rights, where if you draft a player and he becomes a superstar, you're the team that can offer him the most money. No matter how much money you brought in or how much money the Nets or the Knicks or the Lakers or the Heat have brought in, they still will never be able to offer that player as much money as you can right now. So that's sort of a way of like trying to keep the league competitive and keeping the players that are in small towns or smaller markets, keeping them happy with their, their opportunity to make just as much money as anybody else without having to get traded or move in free agency. If anything, like a lot of players have taken pay cuts to go to other teams, like
Like
Kawhi, like they took
like James Harden.
pay, yeah, James Harden, like they took pay cuts. Kevin Durant when he went to the Warriors the first time. I mean, I should say the first time, the only time, because I
I
don't
mean,
think he's
he's
going back.
linked. He's linked to go back. Golden State has everything you want. He literally
They
has
do,
everything.
they do, but I don't think. I think Golden State is smarter than that. I
I
don't
think
think Golden
I
State.
think Katie
I think
wouldn't
they
allow
know
that.
that, like, you know what? We still got Steph, Clay, and Draymond. We still have all these young players who we can develop. We're still one of the best, if not the best team in the West. We're one of the most experienced teams in the West. We have one of the best coaches in the West. We still have everything that we need to go back to the championship. We don't need to sabotage our future for another like championship this year and maybe next year.
Because like in soccer, PSG, it is PSG.
Yeah,
They have three of the best soccer players in the world,
right,
and Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe.
right.
Mbappe just signed a deal where he's going to make $400 million and making $75 million a season.
Yeah,
It's
I don't have a
literally
problem with salary caps. I don't have a problem with salary caps. The problem that I have with salary
they're all
caps is
not
that they're
equal
not
though.
exactly. They're all not equal, and there's still workarounds.
Right.
Like the luxury tax.
So
The luxury tax is a large market team's workaround to the salary cap because it's like, okay, we are going to charge us more to go over the cap. Fine, we'll just pay it.
right, because
But
the cap is $123 million. That is the cap.
right,
But if you're a team that has money or a team that wants to win a championship, you can go up to $153 million.
right.
So that's a $30 million guy or
Exactly.
multiple
That's a
pieces,
that's a whole max contract player.
right? That you can go over if you know. And then on top of that, like the taxpayer mid-level exception changes
Yeah,
depending on where city you in. Like for us,
yeah,
it's 10 million. For a team like OKC, it probably like 6.
yeah,
So it is definitely. I would like to see the cap be the same for every team.
yeah. Like a hard cap.
Yeah, and also like when a player signs a max contract. So let's say Joel, for example, Joel is going to be getting $50 million, right? I'm not saying he
Hmm.
doesn't deserve it. That motherfucker deserves every fucking penny, cent, and
Yeah,
ounce of that money. I'm saying it takes up 50 million of that, where I feel like it should only count as a max contract. It should only count as a $30 million contract on your
mm,
cap, because a lot of
I see what you mean, but that can also just be another workaround for the teams with money.
and then because like $50 million and you have 150 to play with, it's like I only have $100 million left to make a team. $100 million to make a team is not a lot of fucking money. Let's just say Joel's the only player on the team, right? And you have to build a team around Joel.
And
$100 million,
He's making a
right?
third of the total cap.
He's
Yeah,
making a third of the total cap.
and
Where
you got to find 14 other guys,
right? That's what I'm saying. You have to find 14 when you could make
and
that
the minimum salary is like $1 million.
right. When you can then go, all right, well, he has a max contract because of bird rights, right?
Hmm.
He's going to get paid $50 million because of bird rights. You've kept him here. He stayed here. He's going to get that money. So we're only going to count it as 30 million on your payroll, so you can go after more shit.
I think that's how it works
No, it doesn't.
already.
It doesn't.
No,
No.
because the bird rights are literally what enable you to
You can
offer
go.
a player
You can
the
go
super max.
over to get that, but it still would count as
Oh, the
that
total.
money.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. I know what you mean.
So instead of all right, cool, you've loyalty to get more teams to be able to keep their players. Hey, this even though you're going to get $50 million this year, it's only going to count as 30 because that's a max slot. That would be the max slot they could go to, but you're getting because of bird rights, you're going to get more. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that could keep players on it, like 'cause, like when Giannis wasn't unhappy and potentially wanted to go, Giannis is gonna get paid $50 million.
Yeah.
Just is what it is.
Because as of right now, I think Jokic has officially just recently signed the largest contract in NBA history, right?
Yeah, 5 years, $261 million.
Right. So Giannis is definitely because we also have to take into consideration part of the way that a person's salary is determined is based on their accomplishments and what
Yeah,
they've actually done. There are
you get kickers. You get kickers.
right. There are certain stipulations in contracts with that where this amount of money kicks in if you accomplish this,
Yeah.
whether it's all first team All
That's
NBA,
why.
All
That's
Star,
why
whatever.
a lot of
Giannis
first.
has Giannis has the accolades out the door, like
Yeah.
champion, Finals
So
MVP, two-time
we
MVP,
might be
All Star
talking about
games.
something like 280
Yeah,
with him. Because there are kickers. There are a lot of things. Because Joel contract can grow. Like
yeah,
John Morant, he signed for 5 years, 193.
yeah,
But the kickers would make that grow to 231 million.
yeah,
So I just feel as though they can make it better so that the teams could keep adding to that team. Because like Memphis is a small market, but
yeah,
Memphis has always been not always a crazy attractive market, but they've always had teams where a lot of players just wanted to play with those players.
yeah,
Like when they had the grit and grind days, there was a lot of players that wanted to play with Memphis.
yeah.
And now they got the young team where I feel as though they're in the next dynasty in the NBA. Obviously, we've learned from OKC that you can't pay everybody, but
Yeah.
for the people that
But
you
even
can
then,
keep,
OKC kind of shot themselves in the foot because they could have paid James Harden. But
yeah,
again,
they didn't
because
want to
they're a
go
small
over.
market,
Yeah, they
they
would have to
felt
pay
like
that.
they couldn't afford all that extra money. It would have tied their hands for years going forward.
They would have to pay that tax.
Right. Right. So, there, like I said, there's still sort of some workarounds. Now, I would say if I'm a GM or an owner, I still do it because the cap goes up every year.
Yes, like we were talking about it. OKC had to give Lou Dort that money because you had to reach the floor of the
The
shit.
salary floor, right?
They had to
Right.
reach the floor. They're at the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you have to pay somebody to reach the
Right.
floor, or else it's
Right.
going to be less next year.
They're in the literal opposite situation
Right.
from the James Harden
Like
situation.
like San Antonio. San Antonio's going to have to give somebody a bag
Yep.
because they legit still have to give somebody a bag. That's why
Yep.
Doug McDermott made his money.
Yep.
That's why Julius Randle got the contract he did before he actually took off. New York had to meet the floor.
Yeah.
Imagine they just go out there and be like, "Hey, DeMarcus, here, sign this 1 year, $30 million contract."
Right.
That's some shit. Literally, they can be like, "Okay, well, we met the floor."
Yep. DeMarcus Cousins under Greg Popovich, I feel like that could be what sort of reignites his career. He'll never be like a superstar again,
Yeah.
but I think that will be because think about how long Brooke Lopez was in the league
question.
before.
This was a question that was going around.
Go ahead.
Was Boogie ever really a superstar?
I think so. Yeah.
Because
For sure.
they was like, well, his numbers is fucking crazy, but he never made the playoffs on his own.
Well, remember, this was during a time when centers. Boogie was definitely the best center in the league, right? He was definitely one of the better players in the league. However, this was during a time pre-Jokic, pre-Joel, pre-Giannis, where bigs still were at sort of the mercy of the guards.
Yeah.
Where like I have to get the ball before I can do anything with it.
See, but
And I think
Boogie broke
Boogie's-
the mold in the sense that Boogie was bringing the fucking ball up. It was
Sometimes.
it was a rarity to see, but Boogie was playing point guard. Like
Sometimes,
Boogie had to
but that
do
was-
that shit.
that was sometimes you're right, but that was more so out of necessity
Right.
because they literally had nobody. There were no guards. They had nobody else.
And the reason that
He was the best option.
they go back to the year when they had Tyreek Evans, they had Rudy Gay, who was it's so crazy to hear people talk about Rudy Gay like Rudy Gay wasn't a fucking bucket. He still is.
He was,
still is to this day. But
Yeah.
Rudy Gay could have been an all-star.
Yep.
Like Rudy Gay and like people were comparing him to another name that kind of fell off, Danny Granger.
Yeah.
Like they had similar skill sets. Like they both
Yep.
super athletic. Well, Rudy Gay was super athletic in his Memphis years and his like early Toronto years. Like super athletic, get buckets anywhere from anywhere. Like
with with Rudy Gay, I think his situation reminds me a little bit of like a Ron Artest, where like in his early, like in Ron Artest,
he
like
was
Indiana
averaging like
days,
24. Like he was
yeah,
averaging
in
like
his
25
Indiana days,
defensive
like
player of
he
the
was
year.
a bucket, like he was a really really good player, but some of his off the court stuff eventually reduced him to a role player, and
Yeah.
he
Well,
won
I
a
mean,
championship with Kobe. He was one of the better pieces on that team, but he still was not. He wasn't the guy. It wasn't like in
yeah.
Indiana.
And if in Rudy Gay's case, Rudy Gay got injured.
Right, right,
He fucked himself up in Sacramento. He had like tore his Achilles or something like that.
right. And this was before players were like coming back from that.
Yeah, coming back from that shit, like nothing happened.
I think the first player to tear an Achilles or an ACL or something like that and come back like it never happened was probably Zach LaVine.
No, it was somebody before that.
Who?
Mike Conley. Mike Conley
Okay.
came back in the shortest time ever.
Yeah.
Ever in the history of an ACL tear.
Yeah.
Came back. Right. This is still with Memphis.
Yeah.
Came back and they went to I think that was the year they went to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. It could have been a year after that, but I think that's the year. Came back, played his best year, still wasn't an All-Star. I'm glad he finally got his All-Star appearance, by the way. But he was still on shit. Like
But even then, Mike Conley's game, he doesn't play above the rim like Zach.
So I mean,
like Zach came back from an ACL tear and is still like probably one of the better dunkers in the league.
Zach is definitely impressive, in terms of like the most impressive of if any of this shit is Kevin Durant. Like that is the fucking you.
But still, that was after. But that was after Zach.
Yeah.
Like Zach was the first one that I could think of to come back and not lose an ounce of athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got just as much bounce as he did.
I don't know if you
in
remember
2016 or like whatever.
I don't even know if you remember when he tore it. He tore it when he was with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. It was some dope shit. But I remember. He was playing with his fucking ACL torn.
Yeah.
He was like, I didn't even realize it until they called timeout. Motherfucker played, had a dunk. He was like, I realized I couldn't get high. He was like, I realized I couldn't get as high as I wanted to. And he's like, what the fuck? And then they called timeout. And they took him to the back. And it was like, yeah, you tore your ACL.
Yeah.
That is fucking ridiculous, bro.
Tearing your ACL and still going up for a dunk is the most ridiculous thing.
And going to yourself, I didn't get
like that feels weird.
Like,
let me try to jam on somebody and see what happens. like my leg feels funny. Let me dunk this basketball.
Speaking of injuries, I'm going back. This is like this is one of the Sixers games I've been to. I was at the Sixers versus Portland game.
Brandon Roy?
No. This was Damian Lillard. This was Damian Lillard.
Oh, yeah.
This is when Robert Covington was still on the Sixers. And Robert Covington hit that game winner. This was also the game where Joel Embiid, that was Joel Embiid's last game of his rookie year. Because he had tore his meniscus. Right. In that game. I remember him going for that dunk. He had a breakaway dunk. Nobody was near him. He went up, came down, and stayed down.
Yep.
I remember
he landed on like a weird
he landed on a
spot.
Yeah.
And like his leg literally just like slid out from under him.
Yeah.
And the other one like stuck the landing and it also like looked awkward. It was just bad.
I remember
it looked like he was wearing stilts.
I remember the crowd going like I literally never in my life have heard anything like that. Cheering because he made the dunk.
And then immediately stops. Yeah.
like a snap.
It's like a go ahead.
And it's crazy because he was still walking. Mind you, it was a partial tear. It wasn't a full tear, but it was Joel's rookie year. He just came off for 2 years, so they shut his ass down for the rest of the fucking season.
Yeah,
It was like, we're not winning
we weren't
shit.
doing anything.
Let's get our draft pick. We're gonna try again next year.
Yeah.
And then our draft pick next year didn't. Well, no, that was Ben Simmons' rookie year too, because he didn't
No.
play.
The draft.
No,
Yeah. The draft pick that we got next year was Markel.
yeah, because Ben
Ben was already on the team.
No, Ben was not on the team when.
Yes, he was. Joel's first year was supposed to also be Ben's first year.
No.
No. Yeah. Yep.
No, wait, huh?
Yep. Joel's first year was the 2016-2017 season. Ben got drafted in 2016, but he missed his first year. Their first year together was 2018, which was the year that we went to the second round of the playoffs and lost to Boston.
Because I don't remember seeing him on the bench. I don't think he traveled with the team a lot.
No, he didn't travel with the team.
Okay, because I didn't remember, because we were like right behind the so when they switched at halftime, we were right behind the opponents. Like, we was on the side of our bench, and we was relatively close. Like, we were literally right behind the basket, not floor seats, but like upper a little bit. And I didn't see him. And I remember Joel was mad. I remember Joel being fucking pissed coming back to the bench because they took him out. And he was like, I'm good. Like, I could play. Like, it's not bothering me. And I remember he left. He literally left. Like, he literally left the fucking John. Like, he went back there. He came back out, and they were still playing. He came back out. They told him he couldn't go back in, and he went back in. He went back into the tunnel. Like, nobody told him to go back in the tunnel. He was just, like, mad as fuck. And I remember Brett Brown, like, about the, like, dead-ass son. Was it Lord Pierce, or was, like, not Billy Donovan? We had another coach who became, like, St. Joseph's coach.
Oh.
Either way,
I don't remember.
He literally ran it and got Joel. Like, he was holding on to his arm, because, like, Joel was fucking pissed. Another instance when Joel was pissed, it was the Memphis game. That Memphis game that fucking Mike Conley went the fuck off.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mind you, Joel is on a minutes restriction.
Yeah. He was like, we can win this game. It's like, nah, you're out.
And I remember him kicking the fucking chair. He kicked the fucking chair because he was so fucking mad. And that moment, that's when I fell in love with Joel. I fell in love with Joel.
Because it wasn't a meaningful game.
It wasn't. He just wanted to fucking win, bro.
Yeah.
We end up losing that in overtime. Who else was going off? I think fucking Isaiah Cannon was doing some shit. I think it was Isaiah Cannon. The cannonball. That shit was fucking fire, bro. Yeah. We got literally one of the best PA announcers in the fucking league, bro.
Yeah, for real. And he's been there for forever.
When the fucking the game, ironically again against Memphis, when Matisse gets the ball, throws it half court, throws it, like, he saves the ball, throws it, and Tyrese gets it. And he runs the ball out and does the layup, and he just, like, goes to the crowd because we won the game off of that shit. And his Maxi, that shit was so fire, bro. It was so fire, because it's like the game was already over. We won the game because we got the stop, but Tyrese scored it, and like just him like going crazy because it wasn't regular. It wasn't like a regular Tyrese Maxey. It was like you won the game type shit like that. Yeah, it was beautiful. We literally have the best. I'm kind of mad that Mark Zumoff is not here, because
I know. We do have one of the best PA announcers, and he's been there for so long. Whenever AI is there and they show him up on the screen, he still does the exact same introduction and the exact same voice, and it feels the exact same as when AI was playing. Yeah. Our 6-foot guard from Georgetown. I'll be like, in the crowd. Fucking get in the game. He was like 48 years old. Like, got like chains on and so fucking like fedoras. Like, just bro, get in uniform. Like, come on. Like,
do it one time. And
one time.
Speaking of Allen Iverson, we're kind of like coasting right now. Speaking of Allen Iverson, there's rumors. There has been rumors
that they're gonna finally have him involved with the team.
No. But it's something pertaining to something he made famous.
The practice thing?
No.
Okay, good. Because I hate that.
Those 2001 black jerseys.
Oh, the uniforms
have been rumored to come back. Yes. For those who don't know, 75th anniversary was last year. This year
Mm-hmm.
is the 76th anniversary.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are the 76ers, meaning we're going to win the championship because 76, 76. Yeah, say no. But they said they're supposedly bringing back these classic jerseys for our 76 76 year. It's not our 76 year, but it's our 76
The
76
NBA's
76th
76th
year.
anniversary.
And but
Here's my
it's
thing. We're on the black jerseys, right? Everybody always wants the black jerseys to come back. I feel like we shouldn't bring them back until we're in the finals. Because that's the last time that's kind of the last time that we really wore them. Like we wore them for a couple years after that, but that year, that
they
2001
had
year was
fire.
like the most that's like the most memorable time. And the last time we went to the finals was in those black jerseys. So I feel like if we make the finals again and if we happen to be home like for the first two games, those first two games need to be black jersey games.
I don't think they're gonna do that for the simple fact that you just don't know, like you just don't know.
I'm perfectly fine with them not bringing it
And
back ever
I d-
unless it's in the finals.
I don't
Cuz that's like AI in attendance like that. Come on.
like
That's just
imagine
poetry.
because remember when fucking Golden State brought back the We Believe jerseys,
Exactly.
bro. The
But
revealing.
imagine if it was in the finals. Like imagine if it's the finals. You're already hyped. But
I don't
imagine if they take the regular red and blue warm-ups off and the black jerseys are underneath. Game 1 of the finals,
the
bro. Bro,
or
niggas is passing out.
it has to be a special case. I don't know if they're going to save it just for
Yes,
the finals. I don't know if they're going to save it
I
just for the
would.
final.
I would. Either the
Because
finals or like
I wouldn't be able to wake
either the
up.
finals or cuz
Christmas.
what? 96.
Do a Christmas, the Christmas type shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But
Bro,
Christmas
we
already
didn't
did
even.
get regular. They already make Christmas Day jerseys, so
They
you
don't.
can't
They
really
don't
do
make.
that.
They don't make Christmas Day jerseys no more.
What?
They
Not
haven't made a.
anymore.
They haven't made Christmas Day jerseys since we got the Nike jerseys.
Oh yeah, you're right. Which I don't like.
They just wear the statement jersey. That's what it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
They still. I mean, like they do a special jersey,
Yeah.
and now we have the city edition jerseys.
That's basically what they would wear. The city edition.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Which are
it's
cool. I
and
don't have a problem. I like our city edition jerseys, but those black ones, I feel like it has to be a special case.
I really like the ones where they were like cream, and they had like the Sixers in cursive.
Yeah,
That was the play
yeah.
that was the first ever playoff year. That was our first playoff back year.
With the snake, the "Don't Tread on Me"
Yeah.
snake. Yeah, the banner. Yeah, I
That
like that
shit
too.
was fire. The jerseys we had this year, I think were better than those jerseys. I think it was the best jersey we've had so far in the
Black.
no the like navy with the Sixers logo.
Oh yeah.
That
The
those were
Spectrum
the
jersey.
Spectrum jersey. That was the best jerseys we have had so far.
Yeah, I thought you
And
meant the black ones with like Bowhouse Row on it.
no, that was Ben Simmons made that. So no,
Yeah, I didn't like that.
like let me just give me those jerseys back.
But those Spectrum jerseys were really cool with
Yeah,
the color blocking on the side,
yes,
the red, green, and blue.
it was fire, bro. And
Yeah.
just or they were it was rumored that they were going to retro the process jerseys, which I wouldn't be opposed to seeing.
I wouldn't either, but it doesn't feel long enough ago for it to be like as big of a deal. I'd be like, oh look, cool, but it wouldn't have the same effect
You gotta wait a
as
couple
like
years. You gotta wait like probably another like 10 years
yeah
to pull them out. But then again, your team has to be good. You don't want to bring
yeah
back the process jerseys and we're in the process again. like we
yeah
know,
exactly
'cause
exactly
another 10 years, Joel should probably be slowing down. Well, 10 years, he's definitely probably going to be retired because he's a
yeah
big man with injuries. He will
yeah
be 38, so I think he would probably be retired already. James Harden wouldn't be here. Tyrese Maxey would be 31. Hopefully, he's still here. He's the guy. We could do that. Like when we was talking about passing the torch, it could
yeah
be that way if we play this smart. Joel passes the torch to Tyrese Maxey. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey has to take the steps to be that guy. I think he can be, but he has to take the steps and prove that. But that would be dope as hell, bro.
it would
Cause like
I
Like Joel gave
Right.
him his nickname. Like he gave him
Yeah.
the nickname. You're the franchise. Like literally. And then
I think yeah, I think that would be cool. Like for the 10-year thing.
yeah.
I think but I don't know, man. Nothing hits like the black jerseys.
Or just bring back the blue ones until you could wear the black ones. Bring back the
Yeah.
blue 01 jerseys.
Yeah.
You got to make them shiny though. You got to make them shiny.
You got to make them shiny.
You got to make them shiny, bro. You can't do
Like a
none.
fucking
You got to make them shiny. I don't know
fucking
what
tracksuit
it
jersey.
was about the fucking 2001 year, but everything was just fucking shiny as fuck. The Miami
Yep.
Heat jersey was shiny as shit. Denver's every jersey except for like the Lakers jersey. They're the only jersey that wasn't. They didn't.
Yeah.
Lakers and Celtics. They were the only people that didn't want the shiny jerseys.
The Celtics, I feel like the Lakers and Celtics are so much like they have so much history that it's like they almost don't want to they just don't want to mess
The
with it.
Celtics has not changed their fucking jerseys in fucking years. Like even the Lakers have
They actually
changed.
have, but it's just so slight nobody notices.
We're gonna change this color from a dark green to
To
a
a
regular green.
Yeah,
Like,
right. We're gonna change the Celtics font
we're gonna change it, and we're
to a
gonna make it.
different blocky letters.
We're gonna
We're
make
not
it less.
like you mean
thick.
cursive? No fucking cursive. Fuck you. Fire him. No cursive. It's
Same
just gonna be
lettering,
slightly different. Yeah.
slightly thicker.
Yep. But if
Slightly
you
thicker.
compare them, like if you compare like the 80s Celtics jerseys to like the Celtics jerseys of today, you can see the differences, but they do the changes so slight that you don't even
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like for the Sixers and if when we make the finals, game 1, come out in the regular warm-ups, then rip them off and have the black jerseys underneath. Crowd goes crazy.
Cause like
Game 2 we can do the 1983 jerseys with Dr. J and Moses and
this how they should do it, right? So you say you want in the finals, fuck it, we're gonna do it in the finals. They don't play the regular intro. They play the 01 finals intro.
Yep.
So it's AI, it's Eric, no, it's the Dikembe Mutombo. So you know how to swap us out on the Titantron, and people are so fucking confused.
Yep.
Right? They're so fucking confused. Like how the Warriors did it, we should do it like that. Warriors didn't do the like I'm playing it how to be, but they were like in line. They were like in line, and then they just ripped it off, and it was the We Believe shit. And we do some shit like that, bro. We're going to fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Have the regular warm-ups on.
But what scares me
Confuse
about
the hell
that
out of people.
is every time we do something cool like that, we fucking lose. Like we did the DX thing, the fucking that shit, we fucking lost. Right? Joel brought out the fucking mask, the fucking Phantom of the Process when he couldn't play. We fucking lost. Like, we gotta win. True. You can't put on some AI jerseys and not win, bro. At least you gotta win one. At least gotta win one.
I feel like if we honestly, I feel like over the past couple years, if you really think about it, the best team in the finals has been in the East. With the exception of the Warriors and the Lakers. The Raptors, when they won, it was because Kevin Durant and Clay got hurt. So the Raptors literally just had the best team. The Suns and the Bucks last year, the Bucks had the better team. Like they had the best player on the floor every night and really good complementary pieces around him.
Yes. If
the Sixers make it to the finals, I honestly feel like we can beat whoever's on the other side. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is.
I've never felt a way. Obviously, knocking on wood. I've never felt a way about a team than I do this year, where I feel there's nothing that should really stop us come playoff time.
Barring any injuries,
right?
I don't see any reason why, should we make it to the finals, we would lose.
Like I see teams giving us trouble, but I don't see any teams beating us. And that
even the Warriors, like, no disrespect to the Warriors, obviously they're the defending champs. They've been playing. They almost invented small ball.
Yes.
Like, but still, you have to answer for Joel Embiid.
I mean, the Warriors damn near created everything. Everybody just tried to emulate off the Warriors.
Right, but you have to answer for Joel Embiid.
And Draymond ain't doing that, bro. I'm sorry.
If Al Horford can get off, against the Warriors, even if it's a game, I can't imagine what Joel Embiid could do. The Warriors don't have anybody who can stop Joel Embiid. Like, if
And
you
then
think
on
about
top of that, it should be a thing because let's say we keep Matisse, right?
it,
Matisse showed you that there's no stopping Steph Curry.
but he can slow him down.
He
He can
doesn't.
make it difficult enough.
Nobody has ever guarded Steph Curry like Matisse Thybulle did. And if I'm somebody in the Western Conference, and the Sixers are like, yeah, we just gotta move him. We're trying to do a trade or something like that. I'm going, give me him. Give me, please,
Yes.
please, just please.
And then you add PJ Tucker to that, who's going to be on Klay Thompson.
Right.
So it's like,
and then on top of that, PJ don't really got to move like that because they don't move at the same time. Like
right.
you realize that it's set plays. Like Clay's gonna stay in the corner, Steph is gonna move around, or Steph is gonna stay, and then Clay's gonna move. They don't do it at the same time.
There's always somebody screening. Mm-hmm. In the Warriors' offense, there's always somebody not moving at all. Mm-hmm. Usually it's Kevon Looney. Sometimes it's Klay Thompson. Where they're at their most dangerous is on the break because everybody just fills a lane and the defense is usually scrambling. And that was the key factor in the Boston series because Boston has so many they turned them over so many times that that transition offense of Golden State is really what like killed them.
Mm-hmm. If we get
us, we don't have that issue. We don't have a turnover issue like Boston does.
We were actually in the lower part for like the first time in our time. We were like we were the bottom 20s for turnovers
because Joel's gotten so much better at passing.
I mean,
out of
he's
double
still
team.
turnover a lot, but
I mean, that's
just him now.
You could credit that to just the sheer amount of times that he gets double teamed.
Yeah, he has to package it up. Yeah. But everybody else has made a good decision. Tyrese Maxey don't fucking turn the ball over at all.
But then again, it's like if you're the Warriors and you double Joel, nobody on that team that you're sending is big enough to bother his passing lanes. Like he can literally just hold the ball up and look over everybody. Like he can see the whole floor. You don't have a real center who's going to be able to like bother his shot or the passing lanes enough for him to turn the ball over that many times. It's almost like playing with like kids.
Kevin Looney did the best job for the Warriors. Kevin Looney would be unplayable against Joel.
Yeah.
Like you would legit have to before, like, depending on how the way it goes. If the Sixers are number one, I think people are going to look at them and go, okay, let's prepare.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did with Toronto. That's what Toronto did. Toronto literally traded for Marc Gasol to deal with Giannis and Joel.
Yep.
Like, if they see us as a legit threat, they're going to be like, okay, fuck. All right, let's get a center. Yep. Aaron Baines. Where the fuck is Aaron Baines? Let's just find Aaron Baines out of fucking nowhere. And then just, it's Steven. Let's trade for Steven Adams. Come on, Steven. Let's go. Like, right. we need you. Like, it's going to be a team. I thought Boston was going to do that shit. And it's going to make me fucking so frustrated if they would have got Steven Adams and had Al Horford. The Al Horford effect does not exist anymore. Joel has graduated past that shit. Al Horford cannot do anything with Joel no more. And is he going to retire? I don't think he's going to retire. I think he has probably one more year.
Because now Joel can literally start at the perimeter and drive past guys. So now Al Horford has to guard Joel like a guard.
Yes.
Now he's like, oh, I can't move you down low. All right, come out here.
Mm-hmm, right. Okay, come on, let's do this.
And the minute you start following me, I'm gonna just blow past.
And that's the whole thing.
So it's his game is too versatile for anybody to be able to guard him one-on-one. And if you're the Warriors, you got to damn near triple team him because you don't even have any real centers.
I think we do need we need one shooter. Like we need one legit shooter. Tyrese did become a great shooter. Mm-hmm. But even then, that's like how sustainable of that? Yeah, that's how sustainable is that? We need a guy just for shooting. We don't have that.
PJ's a good shooter, but he's like a corner specialist.
Yeah. We need a guy. We need a guy like Seth Curry.
Yeah,
like who's legit a hired gun.
Yeah.
And because we have a lot of guys who are average to above average, but we don't have the prototypical sniper. Like we need to add one of those. And reportedly, Reggie Bullock, put some Instagram things out there. Or his
Mm,
friend said some shit that he said his friends are posted with him saying he's coming to Philly next.
interesting.
And mind you, he's under contract.
So it would have to be a trade.
Would have to be a trade. Hey, listen, y'all want Spice? give us Dorian Finney-Smith. We give you Matisse. You give us Reggie. We throw in a first round pick for your troubles of contracts. I
Let me
would
see.
really love Dorian Finney-Smith on this team, bro. Oh my god, bro. Talk about dog, another
Yeah.
dog that could shoot. That is a self-taught shooter who was terrible and then he became great. Does that scare me a little bit? Yes, but I like to be scared sometimes. Only sometimes.
Okay. I don't know what to say to that.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely take Reggie Bullock. I don't think it would work money wise, but
No, I mean obviously you have to put more in it. That's all I was saying. Matisse Thybulle is the sweetener
yeah.
and a first round pick because his contract is gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on trade machine?
I am.
I knew it because I'm on it
I
too.
sure am.
I'm on it too. I was like, he's probably doing the same thing I'm doing right now.
Speaking of shooters, let me ask you something. When you said you did you watch you said you didn't watch most of the summer league games.
No,
What did you think about Nikola Jovic?
I think he had like 28 points in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. He had a bad first game, but second game was really good. So now it's kind of like, all right, which one's the real him?
This is the thing. He's not gonna get that much opportunity
Exactly.
with the Miami Heat.
Right.
But he is going to get some, some run, definitely, because Eric Spoelstra, unlike Doc Rivers, will go, hey, this guy isn't working. Get the fuck out. You go in. Like, you go in. That's how you find a Matt Strus and a Gabe Vincent. You go,
Yeah.
hey, you're not good enough. Get in there and do something. You better fucking do some shit, or your ass. You're not as good as him. We'll wave your ass. Get the fuck in there and do some shit. Eric Spoelstra, kind of like Greg Popovich, where they don't give a fuck if you are not showing effort. I've seen Greg Popovich, I've seen Pop take out Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili because he said y'all not playing like I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
He took out 3 Hall of Famers and said
Yeah.
you're playing like you don't give a fuck.
I remember one game he took them out and didn't say anything. He literally just stared at them. And they were like, okay. They're like, sorry.
Work your way up to that point that you could look at 3 Hall of Famers and they know what they fucking did wrong. Like,
And not only that, but like having that chemistry of just like, you know what I'm about to say.
Bradley
You
Beal
know what I'm
has
about
no
to say.
trade clause.
Yeah.
A no trade clause.
Yeah.
Oh, he was like, listen, I want to be in Washington. And there's nothing you can do about it now.
It's interesting because he's constantly talked about how bad he wants to win, and yet he does not want to leave Washington. Those two things are a paradox. You can't want to win and also want to be in Washington. Like you can't do both. You are literally trying to do the impossible. It's like saying I want to stay in Sacramento and I want a championship. I want to do both. You can't.
There's something there that we don't know. There's something.
There has to be, because you can't be. And I've seen Bradley Beal on the bench like about to cry because they were losing like the however many game in a row. And it's like, bro, you can't be that upset about losing, but keep re-signing in Washington. It can't be that bad. Nobody wants to come play with you in Washington.
Right.
Like
Nobody's
you're not getting any big name free agents. You almost can't even afford it now because you're literally taking all the money. Like you can't even afford. You almost can't even afford any big name free agents. You can't win anything in Washington. They're not drafting high enough. They're not drafting well enough with the picks that they do get.
And then you got to look yourself in the mirror, bro. You're not a superstar.
Exactly.
You're not a guy that
like
can carry.
You are the best scorer on one of the worst teams ever. That doesn't mean anything. And then I was like, I was almost, it was almost funny the way he was talking to his AAU guys about stats. He's like, nobody cares about your stats. It's about when. And I'm just like, nigga, that's you.
Nigga, that's
You
you,
are the
bro.
stat. You're the stat guy. Like that's literally you. You
That's
are the
who you
guy
are.
who has nothing but stats to show for his career.
You're
Like
the
he
stat.
almost it's crazy because he barely even has any all-star appearances.
Right, because he's always injured.
Right. Or just on a shitty ass team. Like, how do you where do you get off telling these kids that nobody cares about your stats when that's literally what's keeping you paid? Is the fact that you can score the basketball. He's not a great defender. He's not a particularly efficient scorer either. Like a lot of people imagine Bradley Beal as like this 50 40 90 guy and
He's
it's like
not.
he's not anywhere near that.
His shooting splits.
Like he's
His
literally a volume scorer on a terrible team.
his shooting
And,
splits
like
are
you
closer
can't.
to James Harden than they are Kevin Durant.
What'd you say?
His shooting splits are closer to James Harden than Kevin Durant.
Right, right. So it's like you can't have this tremendous determination or drive to win, but you're re-signing with the Wizards every chance you get, and you're taking all this money, and you're not doing anything. From what I can tell, you're not doing anything to push them to make any real. Hold on, it's not focusing. Baker to the Panthers? Did
Just
that
right now.
happen already?
Just right now.
Damn, because I know they were trying to move him because they got Deshaun Watson. Is Deshaun Watson even going to play?
I don't know. He got too much shit going on.
He got a lot of shit going on. He got a lot of shit going on. Wow, Baker to the Panthers. That's not a bad move.
It's not. It's not. The Phoenix Mercury have explored trading Skylar Diggins Smith.
What they need to do is trade a whole bunch of money for Brittany Griner.
They do. They do. And someone that recently came out. Let's fucking switch over to the WNBA. Somebody recently came out and said, I don't know if it was Brittany Griner's wife or her girlfriend. I'm not sure. But it was said if this was LeBron, he would have been back by now.
Absolutely.
Like if it was
Absolutely.
LeBron, obviously LeBron would never put himself in that situation.
Bro,
But
LeBron, Joe Biden's going over to get LeBron himself.
right,
Joe Biden's in the cockpit of the plane, like, let's go get him. Like,
let's
we
get
gotta
him,
go get our
boys.
boy. We gotta go get America's guy. Like, there's no question. But I think because Brittany Griner plays in the WNBA, which is, obviously not the most popular league, and on top of that, she's not even the best player in the WNBA. People don't see it as much as big of a deal.
It's
But at the
crazy
same time,
because
it's like
she's one of the most
she's a
noted.
person. Like
Yeah, she's a
like
fucking
she's
person,
literally
bro.
still any person who's been wrongfully, I guess, imprisoned for this long, no less, over what was it, like
Oil.
CBD oil or something like
Yeah.
that? Like, what do you and why does and another thing is like, why does Russia even care? Like, do you not know? Did you forget the other shit that you have going on right now?
Right.
Like,
I gotta.
don't you have bigger problems than a
Right.
female basketball player having CBD oil? Like, I feel like you have bigger issues than that right now.
I guess they don't care.
Unless they're literally trying. See, what I think is what I thought initially was that they were going to try and use this situation as leverage in this whole, possible war situation or whatever. But then they did the other prisoner exchange with America just like a month ago or 2 months ago, where we sent a Russian prisoner that we had back to Russia, and they gave us this guy who was like a military vet who got into a fight with a cop. That was why he got arrested in
Yeah,
Russia.
I
He
remember
literally
telling me
got into a
this.
fight with a police officer. Like, we could do that prisoner exchange, but we can't get Brittany Griner back. Like, did we not have enough Russian prisoners?
The
Is that what you're telling me?
is Russia the Brooklyn Nets? Yes, we have the talented player. We want the haul. Okay. We want
Yeah,
3 Russian prisoners, 1 American prisoner, 1 from
and a
Puerto
nuke,
Rico, and a
and a nuke.
nuke, 3 kids, and an ice cream
Also,
cone.
and you have to stop fucking sending money to the Ukraine.
Also,
Like that's what Russia's doing.
and then he comes up
Which,
fucking.
which,
Russia becomes Danny Ainge. No, I'm need first round
yeah,
picks. I'm
yep,
need first round picks.
yep.
You know what? I need you to go out there and arrest people that you think are going to be bad in the future. Go to
Yeah,
and then send them to us. We
yep,
want future criminals.
yep. Yeah, I don't understand the situation at all.
Imagine your daughter coming home telling you, "Yeah, Dad, they arrested a couple of my friends because they were future criminals in the future. They just had the potential, and then they traded them to Russia."
They traded them to Russia.
Oh my God, that's essentially what Brooklyn did. In
Hmm.
hindsight, they traded 9-year-olds who then became Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown later on.
Yep. Pretty much. Pretty much.
That is wild.
Yeah. Speaking of the WNBA, here's a question. My favorite WNBA player of all time, Diana Taurasi. When do you think she's retiring?
Never.
Never. That's what I was thinking. I don't think she's
My
ever.
favorite.
I think she's gonna do the literal like immediate transition of player to coach. Maybe not WNBA coach, but I think the first year she retires, she's getting a coaching job somewhere.
Yeah,
I see that as very likely.
for sure.
Probably
the
college.
reason actually they wanted to trade Skylar Diggins is because her and Diana Taurasi don't see eye to eye. Like they don't. Like there
Which
was
is crazy.
literally an argument on the bench. There's a video of an argument on the bench where like when someone gets mad and they're literally rocking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Skylar Diggins. She was like literally rocking. That's how mad she was. And then she spazzed on Diana, and she's trying to calm the situation down. Diana was trying to be a vet and calm the situation down. Listen, I understand, I was wrong, or listen, it's okay. You get it next time. And
Right.
then Skylar just kept fucking going. And so eventually Diana was like, all right, bitch. All right, bitch. I'm the champion here.
I kind of feel her because I feel both of them. Because, like you said, Diana's a champion and she's a vet and she's one of the most accomplished.
Yeah,
she was one of the most accomplished WNBA players of all time. One of the most accomplished basketball players, if you're talking just resumes, of all time. But at the same time, Skylar's kind of the best player on that team. So it's like
with no Britney,
it's hard. It's hard to when you have this icon on the team who everybody kind of like looks up to, but you really like you're the one, like you're the best player. So it's like even it almost feels like there's no amount, there's nothing you could do for your voice to be like at the same level as that person. Yeah. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter how well I play or how good of a teammate I am. Everyone will always like have her back.
I.e. Kyrie Irving when he left Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly. But see, with Kyrie, I think it was a little bit worse because with Diana and Skylar,
you're just trying to get back with them.
Well, yeah. But with Diana and Skylar, it seems like it's more of a team thing, like player thing, like between them and the other players. With Kyrie, with that situation, it was a front office thing because now LeBron's basically being le GM, what they call him, and he's being consulted on Kyrie Irving trades, like possible Kyrie Irving trade pack. This was what was reported, that the front office literally went to LeBron before Kyrie and said, "What do you think about this? Like, possibly trading Kyrie for whatever." And
this
just the sheer
the Cleveland. Okay.
Right. And Kyrie was just like so fucking offended by that because he was like a star player and he was definitely the second best player on that team.
Do you remember?
And he should be seen as inexpendable.
Do you remember when the fucking reporter asked Kyrie how much of a fucking father figure is fucking LeBron James? And Kyrie was like, my father is whatever Irving.
Yeah.
I don't.
James, I think is his name.
Yeah. And he's like, he's a good teammate. Like bro, don't.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
But with that situation, it's like, yo, don't go to my teammate about my future. Like, if anything, that should not even reach that should not even reach the team.
There's only so many people that have the power that you would go to them to say that. Like, I don't think.
But I would never. But it's still like the fact that you went to LeBron by himself.
Yeah.
You didn't bring it up to Kyrie either. Like they didn't bring it up to Kyrie, and I don't. From what it sounds like, they had no intention of ever bringing it up to Kyrie. It was literally just the front office and LeBron that were going to be essentially the ones making this decision. And it's like, bro, I don't want my teammate deciding if I get traded or not.
Did Kyrie have a list when he traded, when he wanted to leave Cleveland?
I don't think so.
He just wanted to go.
Yep.
Because
everybody was like, oh, he wants to be the guy. And I was like, I think it's the same or similar situation as what happened with LeBron when he first left.
Right.
Like LeBron wanted to win, but also he didn't like the owner and he didn't like management. Like he was having legit internal issues with other people in the organization. That also was a huge factor in why he left the first time. Yeah. With Kyrie, it's like, sure, I would like to maybe win as the best player on the team. But at the end of the day, the reason why I want out is because of these motherfuckers. Same thing with Jimmy. Jimmy's like, yeah, there probably are. I probably have a better chance of winning. Actually, I don't even know if Jimmy thought that. I don't even know if Jimmy thought that he had a better chance of winning in Miami. I think he literally just he liked the culture of Miami.
Jimmy, it was multiple things that left Jimmy leaving. 1, he didn't like Ben. 2, he didn't like Brett. 3, he didn't like the management.
Right.
Like, only reason he would want to stay is because of Joel
and
JJ.
And winning.
Right, winning, yeah. But like as a man, right? Not even as an NBA player, not as an athlete, not as a professional, none of that shit. As a man, what they said, what he heard, I don't know if they said it, but either way, it was what led him to leave. Can you control Jimmy? If anybody goes, can you control Marquise? I'm gonna fucking lose it, cause you ain't gonna fucking talk to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but with the Kyrie situation, like, imagine if our managers came to me or pulled me into the office and like, hey, we're thinking about firing Marquise. What do you think?
Right.
Like, I know damn well, no, you're not okay with that.
Not at all.
Like, why is Sean making this decision? like, come on.
Sean
like, this doesn't make any sense.
The right one too, motherfucker. You better make the right one.
Of course, I'm not letting them fire you, Marquise. I would quit before I don't know if I would quit. I would be very upset. I have a child to feed, so I can't quite make that decision.
In a situation like that, if they really go, hey, Sean, listen, we don't have the money for both of you, right? And I wouldn't be mad. Obviously, everything is situational. I wouldn't
tell him, but I still wouldn't tell him to pick me. I would just be like, all right, well, I guess one of us is going, and then I would literally just be like that's honestly, your decision. Like, honestly, you gotta make it yourself.
If you were to say, well, you know, Marquise, you pick Marquise, and then I were in turn find that out because I know you and we're friends. I'm not gonna be mad because I know you have a daughter. I know you have. I don't have none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally out here by myself. I wouldn't be as mad. 1, because I know you. 2, because I know you have you picked that off the best for you, and you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't be as mad. I'll be like, damn, I gotta find another job, but it wouldn't be fuck you, Sean. Fuck everybody. It wouldn't be that way.
If I was in your situation, I wouldn't be mad, but it would make me view if it was reversed. I wouldn't be mad, but it would make me view you at least a little bit different. Because it's not like we're getting chased by aliens and they're like, all right, one of you is getting probed. And I'm just like, take him. Like, it's not like that type of situation. Like, I can find another job. So I'm not going to just throw somebody else under the bus just because I don't want to have to go through the process of finding another job. Like, that's stupid. Like, it's not that deep to me. So if somebody else were to do that to me, I wouldn't be mad, like I said, but I would be like, all right, at least I know that person probably doesn't have my best interest at heart. Like, I would take that into consideration for the future.
I would take it in consideration, but all in all, there's a lot of factors that play in.
But I think that's the same thing. But I think that's the same situation LeBron and Kyrie were in. Like, neither one of them were mad at each other. Yeah. But it was just like
when they first.
I don't like this situation.
The first game, it wasn't like a KD Kevin Durant thing when they went fucking head to head. The first game, like, literally, Kyrie had a fucking chance to win the game, missed the shot, and they literally immediately after the fucking horn went off,
Yeah,
did they fucking handshake?
yeah. Like for me, it never seemed like LeBron was the problem. A lot of the media kind of painted it that way, like Kyrie wants to be the guy, and he's tired of being LeBron's shadow or whatever. But it was literally like, I think he just didn't. I think he took that business side of things personal.
And also, I would throw in this: Kyrie wasn't the same player from when LeBron got there to after they won the championship. Kyrie ascended.
Yeah,
So in his mind, listen, Brian, listen, I love the championships. I appreciate all that, but I want to see this for myself. In a situation like
yeah.
me, like I'm in, where
But
my mom does not want me to leave. My mom does not want me to move out. But for me, I need to see the world. I need to see the
yeah,
world for what it is. Like
right,
I have to try that, and then if it doesn't work, go, well, at least I tried it. Like I had to see it for myself.
right. But the key difference between that and LeBron and Kyrie's situation is that we're talking about a 34-year-old LeBron James. Kyrie doesn't need to go somewhere else to see what he can do as the guy. He literally just needs to wait until LeBron leaves. Like,
Kind of what what they want Anthony Davis to be.
right. Like Kyrie
Next.
didn't have. I don't think Kyrie planned on leaving. I think if he had that in his mind, he was just like, all right, well, LeBron's gonna either leave or retire soon anyway, so I don't need to go somewhere else to try and be the guy until that shit happened. Where it's like, okay, you're still going to this 34-year-old player and asking him about your other star player's future. I don't really appreciate that. I don't think that's right. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah,
I think that sped up, if anything, his decision to want to have his own team.
for sure, definitely.
Because at the end of the day, like everybody wants job security. If you have a job that you like, everybody wants some level of job security. If they're going to your coworkers to determine whether or not you're going to still have a job, that's not any kind of job security.
Yeah, not at all.
like I'm not okay with that. I'd rather just get a different job where at least I know I'm valued to the level that I should be. Because it's like Kyrie's in the situation of thinking like I should be one of the guys who you're talking to about trades, not the guy you're talking about to
Right.
another player.
Like if
Because it's
anything,
like LeBron, as great as LeBron is, he's not here for the long term like I am.
right. And if anything, you would go, hey, Kyrie, listen, we appreciate the championship. You helped us win the championship. You always been the second guy. You stayed here. We drafted you. Stuff like that. We put a lot of trust in you. We're going to get you, to where you want to go. Where do you want to go? Give us some teams. Give us some type of like you want to go warm weather city. You want to go, stuff like that. Give us some stuff, and
I
we'll
don't think
try our best to get.
I
you
don't
there.
think they had gotten that far. I think it was literally they had a trade package that was offered or that they put together where Kyrie was involved and they wanted LeBron's opinion. Like they literally brought him in to get his opinion on it. And Kyrie didn't appreciate that. I don't think it was they were going to trade him. I think it was this like there was some options on the table and they wanted LeBron's opinion.
And it's crazy because LeBron being Legium,
But he was under contract too, so it's like why would you even care?
it,
LeBron didn't like the trade. So what? What's he going to do?
right. Also, it kind of fucks him up because his best years was when he was just a fucking player. Not when
Yep.
he's constructing a team.
Yep.
When he was with Miami and he wanted Eric Spoelstra gone, Pat Riley literally sat him down and go, listen,
No.
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 And if you can't get down with that, we'll trade your ass back to Cleveland.
Right.
Like
And then they win 2 championships.
right, they went to a championship. He's never been as successful as he was in Miami. You could say, oh, well, he came back and he went to Cleveland. He did, yeah, cool. Everything adds up, yes. But in terms of success, he never had as much success as he did in Miami, and he never will because he's playing 2 roles where he shouldn't. It's not like he's a coach and also the GM. This motherfucker is the player, the coach, the GM. He's doing too fucking much.
Yeah.
And it shoots him in the foot when you want Russell Westbrook, who's one of your guys, and shit don't plan out. So now you gotta talk about now your relationship's at stake, which your friend. Now all this other shit's at stake because like for real, like Bron's only here until Bronny gets drafted. Like he's only
Right,
here.
right. It's like, how long are you going to keep catering to a guy who said over and over again publicly, I just want to play with my son? That's like 2 years away.
Right.
So it's like, how much more power are you going to give to someone who said that they are not in this for the long term? I think LeBron, if he can win 2 more championships, or if he can play with or against, if he can just play on the same floor as Bronny, that's all he wants.
For real.
Or
Yeah.
not even 2 more championships, the scoring title. If
Right.
he can get the all-time
Scoring
regular season
yeah.
scoring title. If once he gets that, he might even retire before Bronny gets there. Because he's only like 1,000 points away. That's one season.
This is my thing. I think he's going to get that. I think legit, this is going to be the first, like, retiring mid-season.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to play against Bronny, probably sign somewhere, or play with Bronny, sign there on the vet minimum, and then retire.
Yep.
Like, legit, the first game, after the first game, I got to play with my son. It's cool. I'm done.
Yep.
And nobody would say shit.
Well, he might do the whole season because he might want that retirement tour thing, the farewell tour like Kobe.
Bro, you're a billionaire playing. You're a billionaire. Fuck that farewell tour.
Listen, like I said, he might want it. D-Wade got one. Kobe got one. Dirk got one.
Can you imagine his farewell tour in Toronto?
Oh God,
LeBronto, this is for you.
Right.
Hit a game winner right in fucking.
LeBron literally won them their first championship by leaving.
Literally,
Toronto.
He was the thing they could never get past.
Listen, if we didn't have like a little rivalry with Toronto, I would feel bad for that statement, but I don't.
I mean, we got closure. I think when Joel hit that shot, I got a lot of closure.
We got closure, but they got a ring.
Yeah.
So we're still.
Well,
we're still not.
We're gonna championship this year.
And not only that, they still. We barely got closure because they broke, fucking Joel's face, and he missed, like, crucial games in Miami. So, fuck y'all. You like they still fucked us over. They're like, all right, you got this series, but.
Not next one.
Let's see you get past Jimmy Butler with that.
Yeah.
Little farewell present from Pascal Siakam.
It's so crazy, bro. And the crazy, I think the more crazier part about it is that he knew his face was broken. He
was like, I felt this before.
and they
were little words. He was like, I felt this exact feeling before.
And then the guys he was talking to, was interviewing with, came out.
Thought it was a joke.
They came out and apologized.
Yeah,
because they thought they dead ass thought he was joking.
And he said, he's like, no, I'm serious.
Yeah,
I think he broke my face.
He was like, no, I'm serious.
Like, I felt this before.
And he said it so calmly. He said it so calmly, like, yeah, I'm going to.
Because they were like, how you feeling? And he was like, I think he broke my face. And they're like, oh, funny. He's like, no, seriously, I think he broke my face.
And then proceed to
ask go ahead with this little interview so I can go back and get fucking treated.
Get a fucking MRI, bro.
Yeah.
Also,
elbow this man in the cheek.
Also, didn't get surgery on the eye. He just got surgery on
his thumb.
Yeah, actually, it was his thumb and his index finger.
Yeah.
And his shooting hand.
Yep.
So hopefully he's okay. Returns to MVP form. James Harden.
I'm glad
is
because
in shape right now. Hopefully.
I'm glad because I think the eye will probably just heal on its own. Because those bones, like facial bones, don't really move. Unlike, arms and like legs where there's a lot of pressure on them constantly because you're using them. So you can kind of just let it rest. Don't let anything hit you in the face and you should be fine. The bones will reattach themselves. He might have like, a little like some bump, like a small bump where like the
you
bone
remember
reconnected
when
or whatever, but
Russell Westbrook had that dent in his face?
Yeah. I'm glad because it seems like there's nothing happened that's going to keep him from playing next season.
Yeah,
like
he's going to be
by
back
the time next season.
camp.
By the time next season starts, he'll be
playing.
Like hopefully he's going to be back at 100%.
Yeah, he's going to be there. He looks like he's back at 100%.
Yeah, they said he's already working out, and of course, like you were about to say, go ahead.
Oh, he's jumping around at a all white party at Michael Rubin's. With PJ Tucker and James Harden, so I think he's pretty okay.
Meek Mill on stage.
Meek Mill. It was a lot of. There's a picture. There's a picture that I wanted to show. I think I still have it. One of the reason Michael Rubin wanted to leave is because kind of like the Magic Johnson situation. He's connected to the music industry. He's connected to the NBA. He wanted to be
Yeah,
able to, talk to players, do stuff with players, and his
yeah,
because he works with he's the I don't know if he's the founder, but I know he's the majority owner of the Fanatics,
yeah.
which sells the players signed jerseys and stuff
I
like
think
that.
he's the I think he's the founder and owner.
Okay, well I know
Because that's literally how he became a billionaire. He was I don't know if you saw it, but he did that interview with the Breakfast Club where they were asking him like how'd you make your money, and he was talking about how he would buy and sell hockey equipment because he grew up in like the Philly suburbs or whatever. He's like a lot of people played hockey, so I started selling hockey equipment just out of his garage, and he said eventually they got like an online store and it became the Fanatic.
he was drug dealing with hockey sticks.
Right. And pads and shit. Like that was how he got to start, was selling like sporting equipment, like hockey stuff and soccer
I
stuff.
can't find it, but there was a picture with Joel Embiid, Michael Rubin, Donovan Mitchell, and Tyrese Maxey.
Mm,
And everybody was like, Sixer Twitter was kind of going a little bit crazy
of
because
course.
Michael Rubin is still going to be consulting for the Sixers. Like he's still
Yeah.
going to be, hey, you might as well, you slide to the Sixers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then players are going to see, oh, they just do they're going to think that they threw that party for PJ and James. They're going to think that even though it wasn't, it was a party he has every year.
Yeah.
Um,
But he made sure that they were there.
yeah, he made sure that this
Because
got
that's what
out.
everybody was saying. They were like, PJ's been in Philly for 10 minutes. And
Right,
he's
and it's no
already at a
thing.
party
One of the
with
things,
Meek Mill and
and
the Sixers.
and that was highlighted, like
Yeah.
that Bleacher Report. It was on ESPN. It was on, it was highlighted. So now it
Yeah.
looks like, oh, so if I sign with Philly, this how I'm getting treated.
Yeah.
This
And we
this
winning and they're winning games.
right, and I get a chance for the Cooper Championship. Okay,
Yep.
I might want to go there. I might want to
Yep.
see this through. You know what I'm saying? So
But
Michael
I
Rubin.
love that. I love that that's the culture that's been developed because Joel's always been that guy. He's always and for a while that was how I felt with Jimmy. Like I was like Jimmy's perfect for Philly
Yeah,
because that's kind of also the culture of Philly is like work hard, play hard.
we just don't have the what's it called, the organization that has
Right,
the same mentality as the city.
right, right. But as far as the team definitely has the same mentality of like work hard, play hard.
Yeah,
Like just as many reports or pictures that I've seen from that party, I've seen just as many reports of James Harden saying he's already in the gym, already working
yeah.
out, already getting in shape.
He was doing his conditioning.
Joel
He
as well.
literally before that party, before he flew to the Hamptons, that's where they had their party.
Hmm.
He was in Houston working out.
Yeah.
Before that, he flew to the Hamptons. And
Yep.
Joel shits in the fucking gym. So
Yeah.
like literally,
Joel almost doesn't leave Philly at
he
this point.
doesn't leave Philly. Like
He goes
literally,
on like one off-season vacation
and
and then
then
just comes right back and starts getting to work.
right, like he
Whereas like somebody like Ben was like, soon as the season ends, he's in LA
right,
with a new woman.
yeah, yeah. So it was a lot of other players at that party. Somehow Obama snuck in.
Snuck in.
Because like it's Jason Tatum, Carmelo Anthony, like Jay-Z's there, Beyonce's there, Obama. Like you know what I'm saying? Like like you know what I'm saying? Like
Hey, don't talk about Mo. Mo's got a hit record named after him. Mo's got some clout.
Mo, the record is better. Obama, the record is better than the
Oh
player.
God. Oh God. Well, I mean, if you're asking like teenage white guys, then yeah.
This song is better than the player.
I think if you ask a lot of other hip hop fans, they might disagree. But
You know what? Actually, they both are played out, and
yep,
nobody listens to him
exactly.
anymore.
Yep. Well, the minute that I remember I saw a video of like it was like a Sky Zone or whatever, and they started playing Mo Bamba, and all these like 11 and 12-year-old white boys just started singing it at the top of their lungs, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I can listen to this song anymore.
Yeah.
This is the same thing with Old Town Road. I loved Old Town Road, and then it kind of became what it was, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this no more.
Bro, you know what's crazy? The song is good, but like,
Yeah.
because people are the H word, you know, the H word. Once they found
Haters?
out that he was the G word,
Yes.
everything
That H
changed.
word.
Yes,
Yes.
you know, they everything changed. Like people
Mm-hmm.
weren't listening to it the same. People weren't listening
Rhymes
to it
with
like they used to.
slow aerobic, right?
Yeah, you know, people. Unfortunately, people are out there like that, and
Yep.
they were listening to it differently, or they weren't listening to it at all, or when it came
Right.
on, they changed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unfortunate people are out there like that. It's a great fucking song. He had a great fucking album.
Yeah, I like his music.
I do too.
I wish he kept it with like that Western theme though, the
You want to
like
hit more
Western
country?
country. Yeah, because some of my favorite songs of his have that theme, like that sort of more yeah, I guess like Western, especially like Southwestern, like Montero. Like the guitar on
Mm-hmm.
Montero, it
That's
sounds like a Southwestern, like not mariachi band, but like a Southwestern, like kind of Mexican influence, like guitar and drum
yeah,
pattern. Like I really like that vibe from him.
yeah. I
Like
do
the
too.
whole
I like
like
it's
it's
different.
his music. His music seems like it could be the soundtrack for like a modern Western.
Yeah, he definitely has the that ability. You know.
Yeah.
He has. Well, I forgot what the song name.
And the rodeo, the song that he did like three remixes. He first it
Oh,
was with him and Cardi B, then he got Nas on it. It was called
um,
Rodeo.
with
But that one
with
too had like the horns, like the Mexican horns, the trumpet.
what song was it? It was basically Mockingbird. Not Mockingbird.
Hmm.
Was it Mockingbird by Eminem?
Mockingbird is the ones to his daughter.
Yeah, he had a song like that. Literally, it was the same. I don't know if it was the same beat, but it was the same flow.
Hmm.
I gotta find it. But yeah, it's literally the same exact thing. Like he did it because of Eminem.
Mockingbird is on now. Hush, little
Yeah.
baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be all right. That one. This is no longer about sports.
It's not.
We should probably end this
We should. We
because
should.
now we're about to just talk for an hour about music.
Yes. I gotta
All
find it
right.
before.
Well, before we dive too deep into this music thing, first off, I just want to say thank you everybody for listening
Yes, sir.
and hanging out with us. For all the repeat listeners, thank you for still being here with us, putting up with our crazy thoughts and sometimes sus jokes. Um, Marquise's hat, like you guys put up with a lot.
Hey, listen.
Um,
Love it
so
or hate
thank
it.
you for
It's
that.
me.
Couple announcements. Um, the podcast, if you aren't able to find it where you used to find it, meaning if you probably had it saved on Spotify or something like that and now it's gone, I'm not sure if that's what's happened, but we have switched podcast hosts. So the podcasts are still up. They're still on Spotify. They're still on Apple Podcasts. They're still on Google Podcasts. But you probably just have to search them and then
They're
add them
all
again or save
they're
them again.
all individual now. They're
Yes, they're
all
all three individual podcasts now, with different feeds and everything. So just search for it and it should still come back up and you can save it, add it to your favorites and all that, just like before.
I'm doing another video after we done this. I'm put it on RSS. 'Cause I still have it for it took money out, so I still have it.
Okay.
I'm a for the video to let the people that because there are people that listen to the podcast through RSS, like go to the actual
Right.
website, so
Right.
they can know that everything is individual. I'm do that.
Right. And if you're not, well, do you want to just save that for that then, like an announcements thing?
Yeah. It's gonna be like probably like a 2-minute thing, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll just do a regular outro then. Bye, everybody.